funny trope.
But I also apologize for the audio because all I have right now for food currently that is suitable for eating is chips. So I'm
No, you're good.
going to try very hard, but
Delicious.
I apologize
Get that
for
crunch ASMR.
the
Okay?
recording audio.
No problem. Crunch.
Truly, the crunch.
But would you like me to eat with you? So I can also ruin the recording.
Double the ASMR. Let's
I've literally
go.
just got tea and haichu, so I'm good to
Sure.
go.
Fuck
Sure.
yeah.
I have plain water. Delicious.
Well, that's why I was late, because I had to go make tea.
I'm going
so-
method today. Oh, tea. Yum.
Yo. Alright, so.
Earl Grey.
To brings to a start. We are going to start. All of you guys, wow, crazy, are sleeping right now. Imagine. It's almost like we ended all of your session zeros just sleeping.
Oh wait, so I've taken a long rest then, right?
Yes, you have taken a long rest.
I figured.
Yes.
Sorry, I need my spell slots this time.
Of
Yes.
Now they're
I need to
important to me.
undo all my slots.
Now they're important.
But we're
Where's my spread?
gonna start with Elodie. Elodie, you the bot is playing music.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Turn it up.
Oh, it's muted. Ah, good night, Chicago.
You.
Let's go.
D&D moment over Discord. But Elodie, you went to sleep in a home that was not yours.
Get it?
Though I'm sure you have stayed over here before. Usually for more
Many
fun
a
reasons
time.
than this. Yeah. But you wake up. It's not incredibly early. Just a glance at like the curtained window across the room shows, judging by sunlight, you'd say maybe 6 a.m. ish. Sorry, cough moment. But you can hear behind you some sort of movement in like the kitchen area of the studio apartment. You'd assume.
Okay, great, because I was going to ask behind me or behind me.
Someone is presumably cooking, as you can hear, a pot being shifted, that sort of thing. Before you can even think about like shifting to sit up and get off of this couch, someone is laying practically on top of you, just kind of snoring quietly.
Uh-huh.
It is Autumn. Just like passed
Oh.
out. You can see on the other wall of the room, in one of the beds, you can see someone curled up, presumably still sleeping. And from the dark color of the hair, you would assume it's Bella. She usually sleeps in quite a lot in the mornings, so that's pretty usual. So you would only assume that the person cooking, out of your view, is probably Contradiction.
I do not move from the sofa. I can't. Autumn's on top of me. I can't. I'm not allowed to, legally.
Autumn's like a cat, you're not allowed to move them.
Can I like try and like put an arm up and like wave behind me so the Contra knows I'm awake?
Yeah. You put your hand up, give a little wave. Autumn is a person, yes. You hear Contradiction quietly say behind you, "Good morning, sleepyhead." You feeling what are you feeling for breakfast?
What have you got? What are you cooking?
I was just gonna make some eggs and toast. Not anything special, cause I know you and Autumn like have a thing you guys are going to, right?
Ah, shit. Yeah. Okay, I just poke at Autumn. I poke at Autumn's face. Wake up.
You get a very grumpy grumble. That's like, and if you keep poking, it drops down into something more forceful that you've heard him use in his other form. But eventually, he blinks his eyes open and glances up at you. No, no, it's still bedtime. Oh, go
Do you
back to
want
bed,
food
right?
or not? Do you want food or not?
Mm. Fine. You hear Contradiction laugh out of your view, and then she walks around the couch, holding 2 plates of just like simple scrambled eggs with like some veggies chopped up in it and pieces of toast. She hands you one, which, you know, there isn't really a table, so it looks like the back of Autumn's shoulder is your table.
I just say I'll put the plate. I'll eat it from his head. I'll put the plate on his head.
He grumbles a bit, but lets you do it, and she puts his plate of food down on the floor, and you can see him like kind of feel around with his hand for the fork, just like half hanging off the couch.
I like push him up.
Mhm.
If that even makes sense.
He grumbles
Wait,
again.
hold on, wait. So I'm laying on my back. Hold on.
Yeah, I was picturing you like laying on your back, and he's like kind of half on top of you. Also, half off of the couch.
Okay, listen. Okay, so this is the position, right? I'm on my back. Autumn's half on me.
Mm-hmm.
My plate of food is like balancing on his head, and I'm like eating out of it with like my left hand,
Mm-hmm.
and like my arm is off, like holding the plate up to Autumn's face.
Truly, truly. You guys do this janky little meal as Contradiction laughs a bit, walks over to go make some drinks and stuff. I'm sure at this point she knows whether you like tea or coffee. She makes your preferred drink.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She makes it. They have like a very nutty, like hazelnut coffee. So she brings you a cup of that. And like she also has one of those little mini cups, you know, just for an espresso shot, and she brings that for Autumn. But eventually, Autumn is more awake. There is a slight tussle that happens where you do have to essentially kick him off of you.
Yeah.
But eventually
Put him to the floor.
eventually they get up and shuffle away to go change out of the clothes that they slept in. And Contradiction comes up to you again. Hey, I know you have like some clothes here and stuff. If you don't have everything you need, feel free to borrow something from me or Bella. Whatever's good.
Thank you. Can I sorry, just fanning myself. Sure. Yeah, I can. I might have to borrow a top if that's all right.
Say again?
Oh my gosh, I'm afraid of sushi. Might have to borrow a top if that's all right.
Yeah, totally. You know where everything is. Feel free to choose whatever.
Great. I go I go and pick out her like one of her favorite tops, and I just put that on.
She glances up to see you pulling it out of like the three of their shared dresser, and you hear her laugh a little bit before she returns to making her own breakfast.
Do you think this one will look good on me?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. I go to the bathroom, like get changed and put it on.
All right. All right. When you come back out, Autumn is fully changed, and they're kind of bent over, seemingly checking on Bella, and you hear them trade a few whispered words, and then he puts a little kiss on her forehead, and jogs over to go put his boots on. Contradiction kind of approaches you two as you're getting ready to head out. Still rather early, and she's still speaking in like a low tone since Bella's resting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I know last night was kind of hectic. So if after this, if you wanna come by afterwards and talk, or if you want to text me to meet you somewhere, whatever. Or you can't text. If you want to call me to meet you somewhere.
Contradictory said, "You're broke." Yeah, I'll give you a call once we're both finished. I don't even remember you getting home with me.
Yeah, me and Bells got back late. Their work kept them a bit.
Well, I'm glad you both got back safe. And I'm start putting my shoes on. My boots.
She kind of lingers nearby, awkwardly doing the behind the neck rub of like, but eventually,
Just want to check.
Yo.
Kids want to say goodbye, and then I just go. I just go and give Bella a little kiss on the forehead as well.
Bella doesn't say anything to you, but she hums a little bit and reaches out and squeezes your hand. And the three of them head out. Here, for the sake of other people, because I know some of you guys have seen the art of these characters, and others haven't, and I do want to show because I adore these three, and I have drawn them before. Where is it?
I've got them.
I have them as well. You guys are gonna ignore the dead name in one of them. My dead
Wait,
name
no,
specifically.
I've got the altered one. Wait, I've got the
I'm
altered
gonna post
one.
mine because it's just higher quality because it's the original
that's
PNG.
It's true.
But it's Autumn, Bella, and Contradiction in order. Salute. yes, Ned Gem drew Contradiction. Contradiction owns my whole ass. Anyways. But you guys head out, and after a little bit of walking down the 3 flights of stairs down to the bus stop, Autumn seems to be more in a frame of mind to be able to talk. Kind of clears their throat. I have a text from my mom about.
Good. Is everything okay?
Mainly okay. No one is majorly hurt, thankfully. But beyond what I told you last night. But apparently, they have a bunch of repairs they have to do and stuff. and Adar wants to up the security, so the Chameleon House is apparently going to be closed for a couple days. And Mom said for us to lay low as much as we can. I don't know what she means by that, but you know,
So
sure.
lay low and not go by.
Probably, yeah. She said she'll let me know when we're good to come back.
Alright, well, just tell her that we can always, you know, go by if they need some extra hands.
Mm-hmm.
The most we'd be doing is hanging out there anyway, so...
Thank you, Ned. I think that Adar mainly wants us to wait. Ned, I'm sorry, I thought... I didn't glance at the profile picture. I thought it was Ned because Ned was making the jokes about I did this art. Listen, right now you guys have very similar color palettes in your profile pictures and it keeps confusing me. I'm sorry, King, I love you.
It's the three of them, it's Ned, Laura, and
Yeah,
Xavier.
honestly. I see the three icons in a row and I'm like, hold on, hold on, please.
Who's who?
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 But I'm so sorry, Xavier. I'm dying.
Oh, don't die, please. You've got DMing to do.
Yeah. Gosh. But I think Adar just wants us to wait to come by again, because, you know, we're not actually part of, you know, the
Yeah,
group. So if something happens, I think they'd feel really bad.
Yeah, and I think your mum would probably kill them before then killing us again.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, let's, I wanna, like, hoop my arm into Autumn Go. Come on, let's suffer through this thing together.
Oh, suffer is such a strong word. Maybe they'll have free coffee.
Oh, I'd love free coffee.
But they hook your arm tightly in yours, and the two of you wait. It's kind of a cold morning, little bit misty, but you guys wait until, you know, the little hovering bus shows up. You guys clamber on board, and go off on your little quirky ride.
Oh my god. Also, I did. I'm not wearing my boots. I'm wearing my black Heelys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be zooming.
Hell yeah.
I was like, you do know that they have hoverboards and stuff. I went, no, Heelys.
It's queen behavior. What can I say? But with that, we're going to look at somebody else who's waking up for the day. Hey, Lacuna.
Yeah, what's up?
You had certainly an evening, certainly a time.
Yeah.
But you wake up to a familiar sound to you. A bunch of pings of you getting a text several times in a row.
Yeah.
It's a
Normal
pretty regular alarm clock at this point.
We take it. I don't have to like set one, so it works.
Mm-hmm. Do you leave it for
Yeah.
when you're more awake, or do you check it right away?
No, considering how things have been, probably just gonna like roll over, see what she's saying. I'm gonna assume.
Mm-hmm. It's luck, predictably.
Yeah, I figured.
It looks like you've gotten a couple while you've been asleep, but she knows that waking you up will be sending a couple in a row. So the most recent ones she sent were wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
But during the
Successfully.
night, it looks like she had been updating you with what she was working on, decoding those thumb drives she had gotten. And some of it is a bit jargon to you because, well, you understand programming and code and that sort of things. After a certain point, hacking becomes a slightly different beast. Savior, you didn't need to change your profile picture. King.
Yeah, I see how it is.
I'm sorry. Your gender.
Yeah, it's mine. I took it all. I took all of them. I'm collecting.
No, I knew the
I'm the
picture
Reaper.
was-
I'm coming around
I
for
knew
everyone.
the picture was very gender for them.
I'm coming to steal everyone's gender. It's a
Truly.
matter of time.
Truly. We're all gonna be they them bitches.
Can I interest you in a game of Dark Souls?
But yeah. Ooh, that's such pretty art. I like that.
I like that. That's cool. I haven't seen the full version before, so.
Yeah. But after a certain point, some of the things that she's saying that you had understood begins to dissolve into more specific hacking terminologies and processes such as that. So she loses you after a certain point. But from what you can tell, it looks like it went well. And she made very good progress. And even as you're ringing, and I can't talk. Even as you're reading, you get 3 more wake-up texts in a row.
All right, as I'm just gonna send. I'm up. I'm awake. I'm reading.
She
Or
goes.
just send hi.
She replies, "Okay, good. Have a good day. I'm gonna go sleep now."
Thank you. Sleep well.
Just-
Let me read through this. I'll ask questions later, I guess.
She also sends, I haven't looked at the news yet, so let me know if you hear anything.
Oh, great. This is like after, like before, right? Like,
Yes.
I watched the news yesterday.
Yes,
I guess.
you would watch the news, and of course it's up to you, but I'm sure you and Locke talked about it a little
Oh, for
bit
sure,
at some
yeah.
point. Yeah.
At least like, hey, I watched the news and this happened.
Yeah. But there still hasn't been any, like, specifics, such as names or stuff like that, released on the news. So you're fairly certain that that's what she's referring to, if there's any further information that you hear.
Yeah, fair.
You know how
I won't spam text her though. I'll just text her once and then she wakes up. Because I know she's been up all night, so.
She's low-key nocturnal, so it's to be expected.
That's reasonable. I respect that hustle.
Truly. You get out of bed, start getting ready. I'm assuming you want to go to that introductory talk. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was gonna do it anyways. Like, it
Uh,
was like, oh, cool. I'll study. I'll go do that. That's fine. I would have done it without needing money in the first place, but I'm fine. Gives me a good reason. At least. Yeah, definitely. Get ready to go do that.
Yeah. You get ready for the day. Your apartment is very quiet right now, which Caveda is a quiet person. Your roommate.
Usually they're like up by now, aren't they?
Yes, usually they are up by now. But glancing out, you can see that they're not in the apartment. And Cafeda's very like orderly and organized. So they have like one of those like little magnet whiteboards on the fridge. And they have their schedule written out. And you can see that for today, Tuesday, it looks like they're working one of their shifts at a local shelter.
Oh, fair. Yeah, makes sense.
It looks like, maybe they had done some dishes in the morning and such. Got up early. And they must have left fairly recently because there isn't a stick of incense that is burnt nearly all the way down. And they take about like 20 to 30 minutes to burn down, so must not have been that long
Yeah.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was left in front of this figurine that Cafeta brought with them from their home. They told you that their mother had carved it for them. It's of a very like regal looking stag lying underneath a large tree. And it's like a very peaceful statue that just like sits on a little table by your door.
Mm-hmm.
Like your front door.
That's reasonable. How big is it? Like,
I'd say I'm trying to think of like the size of a computer monitor.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So big for a figurine, but not monstrously huge.
Fair.
Yeah.
I guess before I leave, I guess I'll just check and make sure that like the ash from that isn't like getting on whatever platform they've got it sitting on or whatever, and then
Yeah.
just to, like make sure that like we're good to go as
It's
far
all-
as
it's all
like not
Gucci.
having to clean up later. So
Yeah. There's like some extra muffins that Cafeta has left out if you want them.
oh
That
hell
sort of
yeah,
thing.
dude.
Hell yeah.
Yes, grabbing one of those for the road.
Fuck yeah. All right. You don't have sadly as much to discuss as Elodie might have had.
Nope, we're chilling.
Yeah, you chilling.
No sleepovers in this household. Get well soon,
Almost.
everyone.
You escaped it.
I did. I didn't even realize that was an option. It's just like, well, you guys have fun over there in your own homes. I've got my own home to go to.
But you also head off for the lab you were told to go to. Sorry, this cough
No,
is
you're
fun.
good. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry about your cough.
It's
I'm old.
fine. It's allergies.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, it's kind of a like a nip, like a you know when it's like a nippy chill.
Yeah.
Not actually cold, but just like ooh, oh boy, okay.
Yeah. Just hits you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the wind chill, as the Midwestern dads say.
Yeah.
The wind chills. The wind really what gets you.
It's a little misty. You hop on the bus. Are you gonna like, maybe put in headphones and listen to music, or are you gonna maybe listen to the little news station on the little screen in the bus?
Probably just listen to music and I guess check the news on my phone like I did before.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Give me an investigation check to see what you can uncover.
Oh man, another one I'm actually good at. I can do that.
Knowing things.
I got some intelligence. Oh boy. How's a 25 do for that?
Jesus Christ.
I do be investigating.
Yeah, all the websites to look at, you and Locke have like a bunch of websites you go to where they're technically paid news sites, but you've been taught how to get around that.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly. But taking a look, it doesn't look like much specifics have still been released. However, the name of apparently there was 2 cops who were killed during that quote-unquote riot that you were present at, and their names were released, and there's a whole thing saying like there's going to be a ceremony in their honor, like a badge is going to be given to their family, that kind of thing.
Well, sucks to suck, I guess.
And then just pretty much like nearly as small as a footnote at the end of one of these articles is just a little note saying that a quote-unquote protester was killed as well, a violent rioter.
Sure, all right.
And it has a little like social media photo of a face you recognize that you saw briefly from the side.
I sure did.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
that guy running out. And it just says his name is Greg Haas. I will put that info if you have any interest in it.
Fair.
But it has next to no specifics about him other than that singular picture, his name, and then he was apparently a violent rioter.
Can I check like social media or something to see if there's like a profile or something out there for them?
Yeah, sure. Especially with that save, not save.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
You find a bitter account. It's not Twitter. It's different, guys.
Yeah.
But
My favorite flavor profile. Let's go.
yeah, and it looks like he was like an up and coming like SoundCloud guy essentially, where he just made like chill beats to listen to. He like
So
he
hip hop beats to study and relax
yeah,
to.
everything you can tell is it just seems like he was a laid back dude who didn't really cause problems. Like there aren't even like political takes or anything like that on his profile. He just seems very laid back. And glancing in like his replies, you can see a few different people saying like "rip," like "bro, what were you caught up in?" like that sort of thing.
Fair.
You see what you think might have been like a sibling, but they've got like some sort of more professional looking account being like, my brother and I have been disconnected for years, like it's sad to hear what happened, but we haven't had contact, da 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 da, you know, kind of distancing themselves. But he looks like he was an average dude.
Yeah, that's fair. Definitely not really like the type that you'd be like, yeah, that's a violent protester.
Yeah, you can tell from context because where he was running away from was an entrance to the unders. So obviously he was in some form involved in something that probably wasn't crazy legal, but at the same time a lot of the more popular clubs are down in the unders, so it could have been as simple as he was clubbing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to know for sure.
Yeah, but it definitely, from what I saw at least, didn't look like there was a lot of like particularly violent things going on.
No.
So, you know, sure, police, whatever you say, I suppose.
Sure, random sniper.
Yeah, definitely trustworthy. Yeah, exactly.
Truly,
ACAB.
truly. You think I was
Like
gonna
they've
be
really got a
cops
reason to
good
trust the
guys?
cops in the first place. Yeah, exactly. She's hanging out with Locke all the time. Like, do you think Lacuna likes cops that much? Nah.
But as you peruse these news sources and approach your university, we're going to switch to someone else. Hey, Benny.
Yeah. There we go.
No, it's good. It's good.
Ack, boo, bow,
Yeah.
bow.
Bow. Bow. Bow.
So,
Benny, you're sleeping away. You're resting. When there is like kind of a energetic knock at your door, not like loud or angrily or anything like that, just kind of like peppy.
yeah.
And you kind of like at the sound kind of like blink yourself awake. You're in bed. Wow, shocker.
Crazy.
Someone is still passed out beside you and kind of like groans at the knocking and shoves his face underneath the pillow at the noise.
I'll crawl out of bed, like crawl over. And go over to the door and like turn the knob and like quietly open it.
All right. Opening it up, you can see kind of fiddling with their paint palette with some of the colors, but doing it like awkwardly with one hand as they balance the pallet on their other arm, because their other hand is occupied with a rather hefty looking envelope. You know, in one of those like cardstock envelopes, like the nearly cardboard envelopes that it's like fancy. Is Joy, your roommate. I forgot to put Kafeda's information and pronouns. Let me put that real quick just so people have things, because I want to make sure people...
What's your pronouns,
Pronoun
baby?
check.
I need a vibe check on the accent. Should I keep the OG accent?
I liked it.
Oh yeah, I'll keep it.
Yeah. Let me find Joy's
Yeah.
last name.
It's easy for me to do. It's easier than the one that I was gonna do anyways. There we go. Love you, Cadence. Stay where you're from.
Love you, Kate. Which, on that topic, I'm sorry if I gave a character an accent and I forgot to keep it up today. I'm
That's
just vibing. I forgot to write down what accents I did for characters, so enough. But it is Joy who is holding like a hefty envelope that looks a little bit formal, and they glance up at you. Are you like, you know, kind of doing that thing where you have your door slightly closed next to you?
Yeah, I'm like standing in the doorway, like it's open to my body width.
Is that something you would normally do?
Yes, it's a yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, fair. Darn, I can't taunt you about having someone over.
Well, it's something he does when he has someone over.
Oh.
It's a privacy shield. You know, it's polite. It's general, you know.
Yeah, Joy isn't the type to like give you a hard time about it. In a, to be clear, hard time about it in a lighthearted way while the person is still there, but you're from the wiggling of their eyebrows, you're gonna hear something later. What? They you know, teasing that, like a friendly ribbing. You know how to be. Imagine someone making fun of you for something lightheartedly. Anyways, they kind of give you the little eyebrow wiggle, and they go, "Hey, so little something was brought to the door just now. They needed like a signature and everything. So apparently it's like official. But I signed it, and here you go." And they kind of awkwardly hold out the fancy envelope to you.
All right. I take it.
Cool. Am I
Cool.
making breakfast for somebody else too? Or I should say ordering.
What's the time?
It's like 6.
Oh god, it's fucking early. I look at them. Who the fuck delivers mail at this hour?
Bro, I don't know. Postal?
I feel like the postal service could stand not to. It's knocking on people's doors. Yeah, no, can I get back to you on that breakfast bit?
Yeah, sure. I already ordered donuts. Well, I haven't...
Again?
Listen,
Are you on some kind of kick?
I haven't checked out yet because I thought, you know, I had heard someone else last night, but let me know soon so I can add more to the order.
Do they have things that aren't exclusively sort of donut adjacent, like kind of donut adjacent, but like bagel? Can you get me a bagel? 2 bagel?
Hey, yeah, I think they have bagels too, like, you know, breakfast pastries.
Sure, yeah, that. Thanks, Joy.
Yeah. You can fill me in later.
It's literally okay. Yeah, I closed the door.
It's a nice car outside.
Shut. Okay.
You hear them laugh a bit, and you hear you hear the voice from underneath your pillow say, "That your roommate?"
Yeah, that's Joy.
Uh, and he kind of sits up, shoves aside the pillow as Mary kind of straightens up, and sits up on the bed. Cool, cool. Are you gonna want me to like sneak out, or
Why
I don't know.
would that be a thing?
I don't know.
We're like two semi-grown young men. It's and Joy ain't my keeper or nothing.
I was just checking.
All right. Well, you sticking around for food or breakfast or anything? You got somewhere to be?
I do have somewhere to be in a little bit, but I got some time. Grab breakfast and stuff.
Can I ask where you gotta be, or is that?
I got work.
Nah. What time?
I think it's like 7:30.
You can't drive me to school then, huh?
Oh, I could drive you. It's on the way.
Nice. I'm not going into later, but hey, if you're free in the evening, I could you want to bring your car by the shop? I can give you a text, and I might be able to buff that out of the side when you did me a favor last night.
You don't have to.
No, it's it's kind of indirectly. I mean, it was your prerogative to even do something like that, but I feel mildly responsible at least for the fact that you got, side of your car fucked up.
Thanks. That's.
I want to fix it, Mary. Let me.
All right. Are you working today? I can come by then.
Like I said, I'll text you, but if you want to get cleaned up faster before I'm available, I can like pay you for it or some shit.
No. Yeah. I'll come by later. I'll shoot you a text first just to make sure you're there. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, and I guess I'll just I'll ask. Do you need anything? I know I kind of had you crawl in without any sort of
I will be right back. I have someone knocking on the front door. Let me go see what's up.
Why
Sorry.
do they always appear when I'm trying to be a man?
Gets like that. That's me.
Ain't that
Man.
just the way?
How
Ain't that
homophobia
just
like
the way? That's
Yes.
true.
Also, they didn't. Fuck. Thank you. Thank you, Peanut Gallery.
Did
You're
y'all?
welcome.
Oh God, I love Murray. I would do anything for Murray.
I would also do anything for Mary.
I love
They
him.
seem cool.
Yeah, I adore Mary.
This is him. I
I'm
found the name. I found the correct name. It's time to go.
I'm back. One of my roommates
Yes.
in work order. Yes. Where was I? I also love Mary.
Yes.
Yes. What had you just said, Xavier?
Hot dog.
Were you?
I don't recall. It was
We shake hands.
something.
We shake hands.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Do you need anything?"
Oh yeah. Do you need anything? Because he kind of just like went to bed last night without
Oh.
any sort of preparation.
No, I have a change of clothes in my car.
Right. Do you want to meet Joy then? They're
Yeah, sure.
lovely.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know if
They're
that
buying
was, like-
breakfast though.
I heard something about donuts and bagels.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Come on. And I'll throw the door open.
Yeah. He pulls back on his jacket, which he had like left on one of your chairs, and
Yeah.
follows you out.
Chair he almost slept on, motherfucker.
Yeah. He's like, doing that thing where he's holding, the hair tie at his mouth as he's pulling his hair up. Joy looks up from like the paint explosion in the living room. Their next like huge canvas is stretched out right now. Haichu's also good, delicious.
Green apple is my favorite.
Green apple is also my favorite. Though grape is good too. Joy looks up, looks at Mary, then looks at you. Hello. Hi. Hi.
Joy, this is Mary.
Hey. Good to meet you.
He's a friend. A friend.
Joy is
My
like
friend.
nodding and raising their eyebrows. Uh-huh. Right.
Like, there's no window crawling involved here in any situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this scenario, if I were to, have him come in the front door of my house, I could say, "This is my friend Mary.
Uh-huh.
He's just my friend," and the door could be closed.
Mm-hmm. Just a friend. I hear you. I hear you.
He kind of like throws his hands up to the sides, like, why do I bother?
Mary's like awkwardly shifting a bit and then speaks up. So, donuts, bagels. That sounds like something.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, something. I'll make casual conversation until
Yeah, the three of you
food and
dissolve into figuring out what you guys want to ordering. It arrives within not that long. You guys are in the middle of the city. The donut shop is probably like at the corner down the street.
Yeah.
But you guys eat, chat about this and that, classes, that sort of thing. Mary and Joy seem to get along okay. It's a bit awkward in the way that, like, hello, I'm in your house, we have not met before.
Yeah, I get that.
But it goes good from what you can tell. But eventually, Mary kind of straightens up. So I should get going to go get ready. But I'll maybe see you later, Benny.
Yeah, probably if I'm gonna be touching up your
Yeah,
fucking hearse.
it's not a her. It's with the shit.
Yeah, but it kind of reminds me of one a little bit.
My muscle. Okay.
Muscle could be too. Yeah, sure. Where? Nothing. Betting will get the door for him and shit.
Alright. He kind of falters for a moment, and says, I was gonna offer you a ride, but then I realized I probably couldn't give you a ride home, and I don't want to strand you at school without your bike, so...
It's
Yeah.
not like public transit doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I was just being cute.
I'll talk to you later. Have a good morning.
Yeah, you too, Mary.
And he heads off.
I'll shout after him. Hope classes are treating you well.
He falters a bit, and then kind of like ducks his head to you, like and then hurries down to his car.
Yeah. That's all. That's the only way I'm gonna bring it up that he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you head back in. Joy is like putting away like the like 2 extra donuts and is throwing out trash and wiggling their eyebrows at you.
Can I help you?
Just a friend.
Joy, I'm allowed to have friends.
No, I know. I'm allowed to tease
Yeah, you are. But it's not really like that with Mary at all. Just, I mean, maybe, but like not in the way that I don't need to talk about this actually.
No,
So,
I know. You don't gotta put a name on something, especially if it's already vague.
right. Yeah, no, he was just having a rough
Yeah.
go of it last night, so I
He's cute.
told him that. Okay, well,
Hey, listen.
yeah,
Not for me, to be clear.
sure. For who?
My brother's newly single, and I'm not gonna get into it. But...
Okay, yeah, no. Let's call that like there's a small like a little like
Why?
I don't want to say it, but if you're gonna make me say it, I'm gonna say it.
Say what?
I'm just dibs
So
and shit.
So it's not just friends.
Of course, it's not just fucking friends, Joy.
Listen. Just checking.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta get to somewhere else. This is a weird energy. I don't. All right. Thank you. Thanks for breakfast. I'm gonna get ready and head out.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
uh
I take like 30 minutes to get ready,
and
and then I'll go.
do you check the envelope at all or no?
Oh fuck! Right, sorry, I was distracted by my boys.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I'll check the envelope. Fuck.
Opening it up, it looks like it is some form of legal notice. And at first that's a bit nerve-wracking for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But opening it up, it's a letterhead that you've seen before. It is marked as being from the office of Officer Giles.
Oof.
And with this quick skim over it, it looks like she has sent you an official form requesting you to fill out various details about your life, such as like your living situation, your behavior, your grades, how much money you're making, and it's all going to be going into a report on how you're improving and becoming a member of society and bettering the city.
Uh-huh.
It's like a progress report for you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it later.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit right now. I don't know. I'll like what I'll do it later.
Yeah, valid. Unfortunately, I've been declawed. Hello? But, you get ready to go, and you head on out. Much like I said to the others, it's a cold morning, chilly, misty. And,
Yep.
are you taking public transport or are you taking your bike?
Get my bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You head on out. Time to fucking party.
Oh.
Hey, Prophet.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Laura, right now.
Literally me. I'm warming up my vocal cords.
Prophet, you didn't sleep the best. But certainly better than it might have been. As you are woken up by someone kind of like rubbing your shoulder a bit and saying quietly to herself, "Sorry, I realized I forgot to tell you what time the lab opens up. Prophet, wake up." It's Norelia.
Yeah, I guess he'll just roll over to like show that he's awake, I guess.
She's got bedhead in her tank top and stuff. But seeing that you're awake, She gives you a little thumbs up and asks, "You all good? You need some more time, or?"
I'm perfect, thanks. How are you?
Yeah. We love the nickname. We love a nickname. If you still want to go by and do the little checkup before that introductory lecture, we should probably get ready and head out now.
Oh yeah, my doctor's meeting. Almost forgot. I'm feeling perfect, but just for you, I'll go nice and early.
She's giving you a little nervous smile. Yeah. Normal, you sure?
Do I not look normal?
She takes your hand and turns it so the back of it is
Sheesh.
facing you, and puts
Okay.
it against your own forehead. My dude, you are burning up.
Hot in this room, innit, with the blankets and all that. Maybe open a window or something.
Prophet.
Yes, darling.
I know you don't want to talk about it, but something is going on. Never mind how freaked out you were when I got out of the shower last night. And you were having some form of nightmare or something.
Yeah, no. Let's go. Let's go to the checkup nice and early.
Alright. I'm sorry if I'm being forceful and weird about this. Some things happen in the blink of an eye, and I don't want something to happen to you because I wasn't alert enough to pick up on it.
Oh, you're certainly very alert.
Sorry.
No, it was a compliment. And he decides that that's when he's gonna get up. He's like, I'm done with this conversation. Can I go and find Nito?
Yeah. You go to look for the boy.
The boy.
And he seems in much better spirits today. The second you open your bedroom door, he's running in between your legs and doing little mews to ask for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll go make his breakfast. I also want to go to the living room and see if the sofa is still, or the armchair or whatever, has dried.
It has. And there is no sign of whatever was on it last night.
Alright, yeah. I guess I'll go find Aurelia again. Sorry, didn't even ask if you wanted some breakfast or something. Or coffee.
No, you're all right. And I'm capable of making coffee as well.
Yeah, it's my house though, do you know what I mean? So all that stuff.
All right. Well, we can certainly cook something if you want, or we can grab breakfast on the way there, whatever you prefer.
On the way, but I'm paying this time.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'll just get dressed, ready to go.
Yeah.
But I guess doesn't Aurelia have, clothes that she can wear? Is she all good?
She puts on what she had yesterday, and upon you making a comment to be do you need anything? She says that she already texted her father, and he's gonna have something at the lab. Little stuff to
perfect.
refresh, you know how it be.
Yes, truly. Cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to do in my house. I don't think there is. Yeah, I'll just grab my briefcase then.
Yeah.
Eee.
Hell yeah. You guys gear up, head out. She puts on the tall heels. You know how it be. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And you guys head on out. It's a brisk morning. It's misty. And upon smelling the fresh air, you realize that undercurrent of a smell is still there.
Oh. Fucking hell. Norelia,
Yes.
I know I've said this like 4 times, but I feel like maybe I'm gonna be right about this one. But I feel like it fucking stinks here.
She's like giving you a look of concern. Maybe we should get your nose checked out as well.
Yeah, we're on the way. Let's
He got COVID.
we're we're on the way.
Alright. But you guys head off. The campus is quiet. Mainly at this time of the morning. The people who do have classes are very tired and are hurrying back and forth. Head down, headphones on. You know how it be.
Yeah.
uh, but Norelia immediately beelines, not towards her father's lab, like she had last night. She's heading towards where some of the bigger research labs are, specifically the ones that are on grants. So like they have, sponsors, they have big money behind them. So they get specialized labs.
I'm gonna say she should even bigger doctor's office for this one.
My father's already set up in his and Professor Yergil's workspace, so. And they have the equipment there as well, so it'll just be easier.
Yeah, I know you asked specially for me to have the best lab for my checkup.
Of course. Couldn't have anything happening to you. What would I do then?
Take over all my classes.
Yes, but when I've got you there, I could just have you do all the work.
He like laughs at this and like is letting her lead the.
If I had to TA for somebody else, I wouldn't have it so easy.
Yeah, you're right. I am a very, very nice colleague.
Absolutely. I think you're just trying to butter me up because once I become a professor, I'm going to be having the top spot.
Nah. He's like, that's the only comeback he can think of.
But you guys enter the lab building, and she leads you to one in particular, which at the front has a little paper sign with the names Richard Fontink and Yergiel MD on it. I want you to head in. She unlocks it with a little key and brings you guys inside, shutting it behind her. The lights seem to be a bit low in this front room. She turns them on and leads you right past this room that has like a projector ready and like a bunch of chairs and stuff, presumably for the little lecture that's gonna happen. And she leads you to the back, which already has its lights on, and you can hear two people talking back there. And you went to the back room to see Professor Richard Fontink, who you've interacted with before. He seems to be preparing some pamphlets of some kind, presumably, again, for the lecture. And he's glancing over his shoulder to speak with someone you've met before. You're not deeply familiar with him. But it is Professor Yurgiel, the tall tiefling with the pink and blue,
Yes.
who is seemingly practicing something from flashcards, and they both look up as you guys enter. And immediately, Richard is stepping forward. Prophet, good to see you. Are you feeling any better today, or still the same?
Pretty similar to yesterday.
Well, I've already got everything set up. These are related to what we did last night, but these are going to be a lot more in-depth and able to nail down a lot of specifics. And they do take time to process, so I could always email you about the results if you prefer, or if you want to hang around. They should be done processing and have a report ready in about 2-ish hours, so, after the lecture. And I know you had mentioned possibly being interested in working on the research study as well, so that could work out well.
Yeah, I'll hang around. That sounds perfect.
Wonderful. Come sit on over here. Jörg, move. And he ushers away the tall tiefling, who laughs a bit, pushes him off of a chair that has some equipment next to it. Professor Yurgiel heads off, presumably to keep getting ready for his little talk. And you're being hooked up to some various little, hot monitors. Some little, brainwave sensors, stickers are being put on the sides of your forehead. The whole shebang. One of those little monitors on your finger.
Yeah.
He hooks you all up and kind of stands back to make sure he's got everything right. Alright, I'm just gonna let this process for a bit. It'll make a little bit of noise, but it's fine. Let me know if you have any issues. Shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 minutes.
I do have a question, actually.
Yeah, of course.
What would be the next steps if, by a small chance, I get the same results as yesterday?
Well, that would mean it's probably not something temporary. That would probably mean that this wasn't just, you being ill or something passing like that. Something has inherently changed. And the why we're using these machines specifically rather than just the same quick scanners that we used last night is that these will be able to look at a lot more of the specifics about where this might have come from, what type of magical energy it might be, how it's affecting you, if it's going to damage you, or if your body is slowly adjusting to it, that sort of thing. So we'll be able to understand it a lot more comprehensively if it is indeed still giving the same reports and levels as last night.
Is it going to be able to pick up how fucking annoying it is to have all this magic shit that I don't really care about?
He kind of glances over at Norelia and then glances at you. Prophet, you know that there's more magic than just divine, right? I know you're not a big fan of the divine, which is fine. But that's just one of many, many, many kinds of magic. This is not divine in the slightest, what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I was kidding.
Alright. I just, most things we do in life right now are magic in some form, such as the buses I'm sure you two took here. But I know it's annoying and frustrating, especially when you're not someone who is fond of things you're not personally close to. But this is for your own sake and health. And if it comes up totally fine and there's nothing to worry about, and this was just maybe a passing bug, wonderful. All of us will be set at ease, including you, I'm sure. But you have to understand that if this isn't just something passing like that, the more you ignore it, the worse it will get. So it's best to have the answers as soon as possible, yes?
No, of course. I'm very grateful for your help. It's funny in a way because most of my work involves undoing the harm that magic does. So it would just be kind of funny.
Are you say undoing the harm that magic does? Prophet, you yourself, your very biology is magic. There is magic in everything. So maybe you mean certain types of magic, but magic is in the very air we breathe. It's not inherently damaging.
Oh, of course, I'm just saying that it can be, and we see a lot of that. It's not inherently bad.
Of course, no different than a gunshot doing damage to someone, which wouldn't be magical.
Yeah, of course.
He does seem particularly bothered by you railing so hard against magic, probably because he's the university's specialist on magical biology. So
I didn't even mean it like that. I just meant like
no.
he like Prophet's like, I'm researching curing magical wounds, so I can see that magic can cause a lot of pain, and I'm like, it's just funny if I would be able to do that because it's like an oxymoron.
Yeah. No, he knows.
That's what he meant.
He's more being careful about the way he handles things.
That's fair.
Yes, salute.
Salute.
But he leaves you with these machines that start to hum. The machinery turns on. You start to see various readings start to come across some of the screens. Norelia kind of gives you a little smile and takes a seat nearby to wait with you. You can start to hear some people maybe in the front room arriving. Professor Fontaine goes out to greet them, that sort of thing. And here comes the fun part where I figure out how to switch the music on this bot. Let's see if a YouTube ad plays.
Let's go.
It didn't, PogChamp. There is the chance that it does play YouTube ads though, so we'll see next time I switch it.
D&D recording sponsored by.
Yeah. But eventually the machine beeps. You hear Professor Fontink out front greeting people, and really kind of unhooks you from everything, and says, "All right, we should probably go sit and listen, or at least I'm going to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But this should be good to sit and process for a bit."
Perfect. Let's go have a look, shall we?
All right. Takes your hand and kind of tugs you into the front room. Wow, crazy! Look at that. You guys are arriving at this introductory lecture. Oh my god. Oh my god. You guys are
Crazy.
wow.
For real?
For those of you who are just entering, arriving, a few minutes in between you guys, of course. But this main room is decently large. Looks like it could maybe hold 40 to 50 people. There's a bunch of like little metal folding chairs set up. There's a little table with like catered coffee that they ordered. Some little snack baggies. There is a projector screen set up that has Professor Fontink and Professor Yergiel's names on it. there's some people milling about, just being like, "Oh hey, imagine seeing you here, crazy, you were invited too. Oh my god, bestie." Just uh, words, making conversation. You know how it be. Um, for a few of you, you do see people and things you recognize, such as Prophet. As you re-enter the room, you see a student you've interacted with before entering the room. A young man by the name of Benny is entering, who's in your club. uh, Benny, you see a young woman you don't recognize standing next to somebody you do recognize, the tall figure of Autumn, who spies you and starts to wave excitedly. Elodie, you see Autumn waving to this random guy you don't know, but they look very excited. uh, and Lacuna, you're one of the last to enter, and the person who is about to enter kind of pauses to let you enter. And it's a young person you've had a class with before, Harley. And Harley ducks in behind you after a little hello. um, and wow, Prophet, you recognize Harley as well because Harley's in one of your classes. Imagine.
Hello comes full circle.
Yeah. If you guys wish to, wow, crazy, interact with people, introduce yourselves, feel free.
This
It's supposed to be a very awkward air. That's how everyone be feeling.
It's an ice cream social.
Exactly.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awkward because I'm the only teacher. I'm like, how do I talk to these kids?
Yeah,
Or do I start?
There's
We're
other
young adults.
there's other teachers who are here. You'll just slowly teach a play a character.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And
Autumn
he's just
was-
like it's like a soft little head nod towards you, and that's probably about it.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll throw up a deuces. Like a backwards one, like 2 fingers. Otta. I'll go over there, I guess. I have +2 charisma. Let's fucking go.
Autumn is beaming at seeing you, and then realizes that you and Elodie probably don't know each other. Kind of glances between the two of you. Hey, Elodie, this is Benny. We've known each other for a really long time. Benny, this is my friend, Elodie.
Hey.
Hi. Nice to meet you. She just puts her
Yeah,
hand up.
great. Yeah, he takes it. Yeah, good to meet you, Elodie. Don't suppose the two of you also got sort of cornered into this as well?
Something like that.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
got
yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, and we're getting paid for it, so why not?
Do you want some coffee?
I don't really drink coffee now.
Tea.
Not tea either. Not really one for caffeine. Yeah, I know it might sort of come across as kind of alien, no caffeine early morning hours, but yeah, it's just not really my thing, I guess. Hey, that just means more for you then, yeah.
I guess so. She goes and fills up her another cup of coffee. She was like drinking it that entire time. Like, you know when someone's talking to you and you don't know what to do, so you just like sip your drink.
Yeah.
Is that just black coffee?
There's a a spot of sugar in it.
Right, yeah. Hey, Autumn, where'd you find this one?
Well,
Excuse me.
This delightful individual, Elodie. Again, I don't mean. I'm just being.
he's just like
Yeah,
that.
I don't mean to offend. I'm sorry.
You know, he's kind of like Marin that way. But well, I met Elodie because she kept showing up to my mom's job, and my mom just adopted her, kind of.
Damn.
So you know, we became friends.
I was bored, Autumn. Okay.
I know. It's great having a sibling.
When that happened.
Chloe, I don't think you and I have ever specified a timeline. A couple years?
At least a couple years.
Like a senior year high school? Or you want junior? I should specify. Last year of high school? Second last year of high school?
I don't know high schools.
Bro.
We can figure this out later.
Year,
College.
like 9th year or 12th year?
So year 11, year 12, Chloe.
Okay.
Oh, right, because it's like 6. Yeah, right, okay. I've read Heartbreaker.
12, 16.
Okay. You were like 16. I salute.
Yeah. So okay, 4 years. 4
Yes.
years. There we go.
Autumn,
Like, hold on.
Autumn says with no hesitation, about 4 years now.
You were hanging out like that when you were 16?
You know.
I'm not. Listen, I can't say shit about that, really. But yeah, good to meet you, Elodie. I think I see something. Bye.
Bye.
That was awkward.
No, I listen. I got I'm trying to. I look over at Harley.
Harley's
yeah,
gonna be in conversation, so.
Yeah, but I'm timing it for whenever he gets out of conversation. I'm done with this conversation. yeah, kind of things. Later, Autumn, Elodie, lovely.
Right, bye. I promise he's usually like a nice dude.
I was very nice.
As you're doing that, Lacuna, you're kind of, by yourself, looking about, taking in the vibes of the room. Harley's doing the same next to you. You guys have spoken together maybe like 4 times before.
Yep.
Harley takes a slow sip of his little paper cup of coffee. So, you were invited to this too?
Yeah. I'm looking at names. Hold on. Yeah, Professor Van Derig asked me about it because it was something about it being paid. So, I mean, I probably would have done it either way, but
Cool. When we had that group project together, I remember you mentioning something about a job. That going well? Good? Yeah?
yeah, it is. I mean, it's something like, just anything helps sometimes. So we're just taking kind of what we can get. Yeah, I work as a tattoo apprentice on the side though. So mostly just weekends right now, just really in terms of like what I can like do. So
At the mention of you being like, a tattoo apprentice, he looks like, perks up a bit, looks a bit more, present in the conversation. Oh, that's really cool. So is that like the final plan after school, or is it like a more for fun thing just to get money?
I mean, kind of both. Like, I'm not really sure I want to like stay as like a tattoo artist forever. It's kind of like I have a whole thing I kind of want to do, just in terms of like integration with like tattoos and like magic and that kind of thing. So like it's good practice for right now. But like, yeah, sorry, I can get talking to this for like ages. So like,
Oh, you're
I'll
good.
I won't trap you in that. But like, it's a whole thing. It is something I like though. So it's a step, which is good for me, I think.
Cool.
Do you do anything outside of school, like job or anything at this point?
um, I don't really have like a job. Um, I just sometimes have to do things for my mom. She like does like this invention thing, and she likes for me to help out with it and learn the trade and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Along.
Oh, what do you do with that? I mean, I know we're both in like CS and everything, but I didn't know if you like had any kind of like connection to anything that you wanted to do.
My mom like develops products for this like biotech company, in integrating magic and shit like that. So she wants me to do that as well. I'm still a little on the fence, but learning the skills is important. So that's where I'm at right now, just helping her with those. I'm certainly not the best at it, but as long as she wants me to help, I'll do it.
Oh yeah, cool. I'm sure you're doing fine. I mean, if it's something that your mom's doing, it's probably going to be a lot more like in depth, So I mean, I'm sure you're doing great for really what you've got going on. I mean, we're like barely adults at this point, so.
Yeah. Thanks. You two are making good conversation. Having a good time. If there's any conversations you want to have, Prophet, feel free.
Yes, I'll approach Benny.
Yeah.
Intercepted.
Yeah.
Intercepted. Oh, are you gonna do something?
No, I like this. This is funny.
Yeah, brilliant. Because I recognize you.
Fair.
Okay. Benjamin, excellent to
Oh,
see you
God.
here.
Yeah, actually, funny story about that. Sorry, don't mean to, run my mouth. What was the teacher's name that stopped me? Please help.
Let me double check. Wow. Of course, right now Obsidian freezes. Hold on. You got asked by Professor Yurgiel himself because you have a class with him.
Right. Professor Yurgiel actually, he caught me after class, and there's this guy. This is kind of an alibi for me. I'm gonna be honest.
What could that possibly mean?
It's a bit more of an official thing when I'm on school grounds and I have professors who can, I don't know, testify for my whereabouts. It's not important actually. Why are you here, Professor, if you don't mind my asking?
Yeah, well, obviously, my area of study is biology and like magical wounds and all that. So this is kind of similar. So it seemed like the perfect. I'm talking, and you probably don't care that much. I'm here because I think it's.
I mean, Professor, considering the fact that I attend your club meetings every week, I'd say I don't mind listening to you talk.
I mean, I feel as if the stuff we talk about at the club is not the same thing as what's going on here, but
Yeah,
that's appreciated.
I feel like you're just a bit aware that I don't exclusively go to your club for the content of the text.
He's just gonna like pat your shoulder knowingly.
Yeah, thanks. Are you doing okay though?
I feel like everyone's asking me that, and I don't know why.
Right. Well, concerned citizens concern, I guess.
Yeah. Save it. It's all right.
I just mean that I won't press you on it, obviously, but just get well soon. Get well soon, I guess.
Oh my god. He's gonna like take a deep breath, like he's like trying not to, just like a. And he's like, "I will see you at the club tomorrow," and he like turns around.
Yes, sir.
All right. As you guys are having various degrees of awkward conversation, and Benny, you turn around to try and zero in on Harley. Once again, you hear a little throat clear through a microphone. Hello. If we could just, everyone could just take a seat. Professor Von Tink is up with a little microphone in front of the chairs.
I snap.
Are you guys going to sit down?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sit.
The party just remains standing.
It's like a social.
Yeah. But you guys begin to take seats. I forgot to say this, but when you guys were coming in, there was a young half-elf woman who was taking all of your names and such. It was Norelia, but not all of you know Norelia. Really only Benny, you've probably met her a couple times, so she technically attends the club as well, but that's about it. She's Prophet's friend, hot lady. Actually, I'm going to emphasize exactly how much of a hot lady she is, so I am going to post the art of her that I made once upon a time that also has a dead
Yes.
but ignore it.
She.
I could fix it too. Oh my god. Nipless.
Listen, I choose to say that the titty continues under the. Listen.
Port and starboard.
Yes, this was a drawing I made a very long time ago. I was not yet good at all the details of body. Yes, this woman does have a very, very open shirt in the middle of a university. I salute her.
Good for her.
And I fucking can.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Bro.
Benny begins his speedrun attempt at romancing everyone. Which, by the way, a lot of the NPCs have their emojis fully uploaded. Wow.
Delicious.
You're
Crazy.
crazy. I have them all updated and whatnot. Anyways. Professor Fontink waits until you guys are all seated, comfortable, and it quiets down a little. And says, "Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. People just even coming to listen to us ramble about something we're so passionate about. But most of you had a lot of questions about the details, how paying would work, how this would look on your transcripts, that sort of thing. So we're here to talk about that. But to give a little introduction and reminder about what exactly this research study is about, we're all aware of what exactly the magical potential scores are, and their role in our world currently. But as I'm sure some of you are aware, recorded MP scores have been on the low side and getting lower for a few decades now. And it was assumed that just slowly over time, the mortal ability to naturally use magic has been fading significantly. A sad fact, but one we as a society had come to accept, start to understand that magic would become something that could only be learned, and even then it would become more and more difficult. There was a lot of concern that this would increase magical diseases, since our bodies now had less of a defense against such things. And there's even been reports in some places of various more of the various races that are even more magically inclined having more and more health issues because their body did not have the capability or power to sustain them in everyday life anymore. It's a rising issue. And of course, not everyone wants to use magic, but when you need it to live, like some races, and he gestures towards a Genasi sitting in the front row who kind of like ducks his head a bit, like, yeah, that's me. I'll die if I don't have magic. I am a walking, talking rock. I will die if I no longer have magic holding me together. So it is definitely a problem that needs to be solved, not just for the sake of casting magic, but for the sake of surviving. Listen, it is dark, and it's like I told you guys, a fact of this world is dying out. However, recently, rather in starting with your generation, most of your generation, it was found that seemingly out of nowhere, MP scores were spiking. Not only to high levels when in comparison to other scores that were around, but higher sometimes even than they had been recorded before. Some hypotheses were made about why this is happening. Nothing has been determined for sure. And now, not only that, but your scores were spiked maybe from birth. Maybe it's happened more recently. Sometimes it's even happening randomly to people who aren't in your generation. Just huge spikes out of nowhere, which can certainly be a good thing, but can also be a bad thing if you're not aware of how to control that, how to care for yourself, that sort of thing. And again, not just for the casting of magic, but for life existing itself. So this research study is looking to figure out exactly why this is happening, both so that we can make sure and possibly incite such a reaction in those sorts of people who do need more magic in their lives to survive, but also so that we could lessen it if people needed less magic or wanted to get rid of magic that's harming them. We're not looking to profit in any way or incur negative effects. We're looking to use this research to help people. But I'm done rambling. We're looking for a knowledge here, and we're seeking to understand. And to get into some more of the specifics of talking about how we're going to go about this, how you can help us, Professor Yurgiel, my partner. And he kind of steps down from this little podium. Professor Yurgiel steps up. There's like some polite little clapping, and some people look a little bit excited, which most of you would know is because Professor Yurgiel is a very, very big name in technomagic. In combining technology and magic, like over a decade ago, he was one of the big names in the inventors of hover technology, which is what pretty much all public transport uses nowadays. He was a big name in also helping bring forward spatial travel, various things like that. And he's also very famous for the fact that he refused to ever have, like, something have his name on it, or to super profit or make a company from the things he made, things like that. He's well known for just wanting to be like, no, I'm a teacher, I do research, I don't want to make money off of this. I just want to spread knowledge. But people, mostly polite claps, and he kind of ducks his head. Hey, thank you for coming, everyone, and thank you, Richard, for the kind words. We're all very excited. I have been working on some studies for a few years now, but recently, Professor Fontink and I discovered that our studies were starting to intersect. And after looking into this more and more, we decided that we were going to partner up and do research on the topics he was just mentioning to all of you. And we've recently received a grant from the university to formally start this research study. So, what exactly are we going to be doing, and why do we need all of you? We're looking, as Professor Fontink said, to not only understand what's going on, but also because something like this can either mean that something very awful is happening to... to back up and explain a concept more fully to all of you. Magic comes from what we theorize as something we call the weave, the source of magic itself. Yeah, literally, the projector starts, it's showing, like, glowing lights, various diagrams talking about something called the weave, which pretty much all of you know nothing about. It's like nearly a philosophical concept, if that makes sense. The weave is the source of magic itself. Any and all magic comes from it. It is the ebb and flow of magic over time throughout history. And you might access the weave in various ways. Maybe once upon a time, in further back in history, you were a cleric of some kind, and thus a god would pull from the weave for you because you did not have the capability to do so yourself. Maybe you were a wizard who learned the particulars and the paths of the weave and could pull magic from it that way. Maybe you were simply born with an inherent knowledge and instinct to do so. But however you managed to access the weave, we're seeking to understand it because our relationship with it had been deteriorating over time. And now it looks like it's spiking again. So, what does this mean for us? Well, magic spiking in the weave in this way could either mean something very good, or it could be a predecessor to something bad. So our theories, the sooner we can understand this and exactly why it's happening, the sooner we can put to rest any concerns we have about what this could mean for our futures as individuals and the world. Now that's all very big and broad strokes, but to make it a bit simpler and talk about the more minute details here, for every test you fully participate in, and by fully participate I mean you take part in a 1 to 3 hour test that will have various topics, and they're not written tests, they're usually going to be physical tests, or maybe being hooked up to a machine, maybe asked to use some form of magic. But for every single test that you start and finish, you will be paid 60 gold pieces, which out of character for you guys, that's a heck of a lot of money to get paid for something that's 1 to 3 hours long. It's hefty. It's hefty. It is bag, yes. There will be multiple a week. You're not doing it for free. There will be multiple a week. We're going to be putting you guys into various scheduling groups based on your class schedules and any job schedules you might let us know if you wish, or you can of course show up when you wish and just see if there's a test currently going. this will also, as has been mentioned to most of you, go as a credit on your transcript. It can either go as a magic credit, it can go as a science credit. Really, if there's a specific credit you need, talk to us, and we'll see if there's something we can figure out for you, the particulars. And Professor Yurgiel begins to go into other various details, such as speaking about the specifics of this and that. There's like gonna be a contract. Yeah. But he goes into he speaks for a while about the details of this and that, how you guys are going to be tested, what equipment they'll use, specifying once again you won't have to ingest any drugs or any sort of anything of that sort. No spells will be cast on you without your explicit permission before every single spell. All those sorts of things. And he gets to the end and kind of smiles at you all and says, any questions right now for the group? If none of you have a question, I have a little NPC question, but do any of you have a question you want to ask first?
I'm good.
No.
PogChamp. Next to you, Elodie, Autumn kind of shifts a little bit and raises a hand, and Yurgiel gestures for him to ask his question. I'm just wondering, if our personal results or names are gonna be reported anywhere. I don't want my information attached to that and spread to certain groups. Dancing around the fact of don't report me to the government. But Professor Yurgiel nods rapidly. Of course, not at all. None of your names will be attached to these studies beyond our own schedules for tests. Beyond that, you will only have numbers used to designate between each of you in the actual reports. And we will not be releasing any personal information at all. And even then, this isn't a government-funded study. This is going to be public research that anyone can access, with the goal of helping the scientific and magical communities. Autumn nods a bit, nod. And if none of you have a group, or I can't talk. Yurgiel takes a moment to kind of say, if anyone's not interested, feel free to leave right now. Just let our assistant at the door know, and she'll take your name, make sure your payment gets to you, all of that. There's a fair amount of people who stand up, go to leave. Norelli's at the door, takes their names and all that, their information. Do any of you leave, please? I sweat.
No, we're chilling.
We're chilling.
Yeah. No, Autumn stays.
I know, more of the way of Elodie kind of making us of like, should we go?
No, they're chilling.
No.
Autumn is staying. Harley is staying. The whole shebang. Professor Fontank leaves. No.
Goodbye.
And
Goodbye, King.
once all those people have filed out, Professor Yurgiel beams and kind of claps his hands together. All right. Then I'm going to separate you guys into what we know of your class schedules, just for scheduling periods. We just looked at the public accessed information of what times you might be busy with your classes, and of course if you're matched up with a group and a test is scheduled for you and you can't make that test, that's fine. You can always request to come to a different test or something like that. Shut the fuck up, Savior. Imagine.
That's crazy.
But he starts calling out various names from a list. And wow, crazy. You guys get put into a group together. That's so unbelievable.
No way.
Also in your group is Harley and Autumn, imagine. And Prophet, you're kind of waiting to, like, you know, maybe go over and talk with Aurelia, and then your name gets called and you're put with this group. little Pikachu emoji moment.
Yeah, truly.
uh, of course. That's Prophet. uh, um, but he's got like little spots marked on the floor where you can go stand with your group. And he's got like assistants writing down any, like, you know, if you tell the assistants like, oh, I'm not available this day at this time, sort of thing, they'll make note of that for scheduling purposes. So you guys can do that if you wish. Just you know, clarify to the assistants. And wow, crazy! You're all standing in a group together. Do you talk to each other at all, or no?
No.
I'm gonna force everyone to do like a circle introduction.
Oh my god. God, we had to get a fucking teacher in our group, huh?
It's terrible.
God damn, guys. Please.
We outnumber him. We outnumber him. We can
We
just
can
say
take
no.
him out.
Jump him.
I'm gonna like, bro, I'm being nice. I'm like extending my hand to shake everyone's hand.
Yeah, I'll shake your hand. Teach.
Peach.
Teach.
Cool. We do a circle of handshaking.
Do a circle of handshaking and introductions. Crazy.
Alright, you all introduce yourselves.
Yeah. I do, at least.
Listen, I'm just double checking in case anyone doesn't.
It's like an AA meeting.
Yeah.
It's like, hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm editing. Hi.
Melody.
Autumn introduces himself as, you know, Autumn Lynn. Harley introduces himself as Harley Sharp. You know, whole shebang.
Laguna spits out her coffee.
Actually, or no?
No, just kind of like a okay then.
Interesting. Write that down for later.
Mental note.
As you guys are kind of gathered around, introducing yourselves, a bit awkwardly, standing in a circle, like, yes, okay.
Autumn, do you want more coffee?
I wouldn't say no.
Okay, great.
Speed walks away.
Elodie Speeds walks away to go get 2 coffee.
Hell yeah.
Is she like okay? Just like point at Elodie.
She drinks a lot of coffee. And I don't think she likes, you know, the awkwardness, but you know, that's fair.
All right, fair enough.
Anyways,
Yeah, I
wow,
was
look,
gonna say she seems a bit nervous.
Wow, would you look at that?
Maybe it's
There's
the coffee.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna help. But wow, Crazy Prophet. There's an NPC approaching you. It's an Aurelia.
Yes.
She looks a little bit confused, but also like kind of smiling humorously. Sorry, I had talked with my father about you being a researcher. I think you maybe got confused and thought you were a subject. I'll go talk with him and see if we can get that switched around.
He'll nod like discreetly because he doesn't want to make anyone else feel like awkward. It's a discreet nod.
I mean, I suppose you could do what I'm doing. I'm with one of the groups, but then for the other groups, I'm a researcher. But I don't know how you feel about that.
Let's see what your girl says.
She turns as if to go and find him, but it seems he's been making the rounds to each group and confirming that they're all good, and is approaching you guys like all smiles. Hello. How are you all doing? Any issues? Any conflicts? Scheduling conflicts?
Should be okay here.
Yeah.
Crazy, your guys' job.
2 thumbs up.
Your job schedules work out so well.
So crazy.
That's so
We should play
crazy.
D&D together, guys.
That was my true plot.
I guess I'll definitely want to be like, actually, do have a question, if I may step
Yes.
aside for a moment.
Yes, of course.
Can we like step away from the group?
Yeah, it's not a huge room, so you can't go super far, but it's a couple steps away.
Sure. I don't want to seem like I'm offended or anything, but I was under the impression that I was a researcher in this project.
Oh, I know. He gives you a little smile and like kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. So, I wanted to talk to you about it, but I took a little peek at your results right before I went up on the podium. I think you should participate in this study. Let's just say you're going to be having an interesting time, and it might be good for you to be involved in something that is actively and regularly monitoring your levels.
If I may ask what my results were.
Even higher than yesterday.
So, Fontic was saying that it's one of the highest he's seen. I know that you look at this stuff all the time. So, what's your opinion on that?
I've seen higher, mainly because I am one of the people who invented those. So we tested them on all sorts of people. But it is still worryingly high, and the fact that it spiked even again in less than 24 hours is worrying. Could be good or bad. Again, we'd have to determine more. I didn't have time to look at all of the results right away. But if this is an issue that continues, it's best to keep it monitored. Normally I would suggest, maybe going to the hospital, which you still can, of course, but also if it's not actively harming you, it's just best to keep an eye on it, which we can certainly do through this. And
He kind of nods.
Could help you get more answers and understand it.
Okay, he nods and he's like, that's certainly something I'm happy to do. I want to obviously ask, then does that remove my ability to help with the research from like the other side of the table? Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I'm absolutely fine with you still participating as a researcher as well. And of course that would involve you being paid not only for the researcher position, but also for the subject position. So, if you're all right with that time investment, you are welcome to it.
Yeah, and it's an honor to work alongside this team. So that sounds great.
Oh, you're too kind. He gives your shoulder like a little squeeze, very like, mentorly behavior.
Yeah.
Dad vibes.
I'm crying and barking.
But he kind of like turns you a bit to be more towards the rest of the group and raises his voice a little bit so you all can hear him again. If you are all open to it, we wanted to run a test right away. We have a couple rooms available where we're going to ask some of the other groups if they were interested in starting right away. If you all have the time, you're more than welcome to take part. It'll be simple enough.
Yeah, I'm good for it.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
You sound so upset, Betty.
That's fine.
He seems very excited, and claps his hands together, and says, all right, follow me. I already sent the other groups off to their rooms, so I'll take to yours. And he leads you guys through a door and down a hallway. After passing by a couple doors, he stops at one that's marked with a big old 4 written on it, and he opens it up. Some of you have been in a room such as this, usually when you were younger, and it wasn't quite as fitted as this, but you guys are brought into a gym, like a little gymnasium.
Oh, God.
We
are gonna have to do the beep test.
Oh no. I lose these.
Go ahead.
I just said I lose these.
So
I'm a wizard.
sorry, King. There's like various padding on the walls, which have various inscriptions like embroidered on the edges. So probably essentially like reinforcing the room in case any of you use magic, so you're not gonna like wreck stuff. But he brings you in.
Stuff?
You never know. There is various like circles on the floor that seem to have like metal plating. But he leads you in and closes the door. All right. So I'm going to be right up there, and he points about halfway up the wall. There's like a little window into like a viewing area. Looks like some sort of like control room. So essentially what's going to happen for this just first initial test, it's just to make sure that your group will be all right to, you know, continue spending time around each other, that sort of thing. We don't want any issues, both for our sakes and yours. But I'm going to bring out a few summons, and you'll have different options for each of you. There's going to be a summon for each of you, and you will have a few options of what you want to achieve. Essentially, you have to stop one in a variety of ways. You can either catch one while it's flying. There's going to be some various obstacle things that are going to come out. So you can either catch a flying one through physical dexterity. You could beat one up through various means, or you could simply use magical effects on one. It doesn't even have to be, you know, a fighting spells, just funneling enough magic into the summon to shut it down. Does that sound agreeable to all of you?
Oh.
No, go. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, what if we can't, literally that, Oliver. What if we can't, like, defeat it, so to speak?
Oh, well, like I said, you could grab it through, you know, physical dexterity or strength. There's gonna be some obstacles that come out.
Right.
Or there's gonna be some other items that will be dispersed, and you could, I guess, hit one into submission. That doesn't have to just be magic. This is more. There's he points up towards the ceiling where you guys can see a variety of like little orbs hanging down from wires. Those are going to be monitoring various physical and magical levels. So it doesn't just have to be an expression of magic or spells. It's going to be keeping track of all sorts of various. Why can I never think of the words I need? Statuses, words.
What actually are the objects around the room? Are they like weapons, or are they more just like objects? You know what I mean? Like random, like what's in the room? Basically, is what I'm asking.
The room is currently essentially empty.
Right.
Yeah, he had said like stuff would come out, but hadn't
Oh,
specified.
come out. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Did you have a question, Mr. Benny?
Mr. Benny. That's different. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'll just see what it looks like, and then if it, I'll hit you up with a question if it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I'm just going to be right up there. He gestures up again towards the window.
Yeah, sure thing.
Wonderful. All right, then I'll leave you all to it. Just give me a shout, if you are done or don't think you can achieve it, or change your mind, or anything of that sort. He does little hop and a skip, liking a little hop and a skip out of the room. Let's see. Oh, YouTube ad. Hi. I'm so sorry. Wow, thanks for telling me about solar power.
Sponsored by.
That's so great.
Let's go. Wait, can I look around the group? And be like, is anyone nervous?
Like a small hand up. Like, yup. I think we should just get this done with and leave. So let's just go.
It'll be fine, I'm sure. Like, what are they gonna do?
I don't know, like shoot things at us.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It'll be fine.
Have you ever been shot before?
It'll be fine. Like,
No, have you?
I've been shot before.
No comment.
Okay, all right.
oh, that's not strange.
Autumn's kind of like rolling their shoulders. Listen, you all are having a not stellar attitudes about this. It sounds like it's just gonna be fun, just kind of catch the thing or beat it up or something like that, and it seems really chill. And then we get paid.
Oh, you think you could beat it up,
Right.
Autumn?
Dodgeball.
You are aware.
Dodgeball.
Okay. And with
Elodie
that,
is teasing.
yeah, no, I know. And with that, there is some whirring, and the floor begins to vibrate a bit. And in the various metallic circles on the ground, stuff begins to come up. There's a few, kind of bars that come out that are hovering and have various, whatchamacallit, staffs, magnetized to them. Some that look like more blunt versions of weapons. Some are just, staff, stick, rod. No, it is not Savior. As far as I know, it's not.
Okay, never mind.
It's called Future Cop.
Okay.
But, as that, all starts to, come up, there's a higher pitched set of whirring as 6 little balls shoot out of the sides of the room through little slots. And they turn and begin to hover and light up with lights and little beeps. They do not attack you guys, because they're not violent. You guys are the ones chasing after them. So they start to fucking zip around the room, seeming to each one focus on one of you. Yeah, Quidditch but not transphobic, and they're about the size of a dodgeball. And each one seems to focus on one of you, and with that, wow, roll initiative.
Oh.
TBT, me learning that dexterity has to do with initiative. That's how much
Yeah.
that's how much I use dex, actually. Oh, all right. 21.
Alright, could you put it in chat?
Not 20, baby.
Let's fucking go.
Yo!
This is suitable. My reluctance is coming through.
25, popping off. 24, yo!
Hey!
D.
Chloe, what's your initiative? Is it +5?
+7. I got
Oh
a
my
18.
fucking god. Sheesh.
Do you
I
have a
took.
word?
I do have alerts. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
I
I
was.
was like, bro, what the hell?
I was laughing with Nils, like canonically giving Elodie anxiety with
What
alert.
the hell? Truly.
That's literally what alert is. It was in a TikTok.
Hold on, I'm reading a thing about my thing.
Yo.
How does this work?
Alrighty.
Wait, can I
Mhm.
can I ask? These are just like completely mechanical things. No level of sentience in these boys.
They seem only sentient in the fact that they are robots that are targeted, each one on one of you.
Right.
And they know to dodge. That's about it.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, and I forgot to mention. Also, with things that are popping out of the ground, parts of the floor shift and raise to create, like, large sets of stairs. A parkour course forms around you guys, essentially.
Hell yeah.
Parts of it
Oh my
even,
God.
like, hovering and stuff like that. It's very cool, very PogChamp.
Parkour
Fuck
tear.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like, you know,
MCC.
yeah, it's training montage for, like, superheroes.
That's so funny.
Oh my god, we sky high in this bitch.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie.
But top of the order, Elodie, there is a hovering, humming robot ball, which is zooming back and forth about 20 feet away from you.
Mhm.
Exactly that.
Exactly that.
You thought only Distant Dawn was inspired by Minecraft. No.
Let's go.
This is just MCC, not Dream SMP.
Jesus.
I'm just gonna try shoot it down, I guess.
Oh,
Wait, can I
With a
just use
gun?
an on-off cantrip on it?
What cantrip?
On-off?
On off.
No, you can't, because that specifies there has to be, like, a visible on and off function, which there is not.
Does it have? Okay, I'm just gonna fire a firebolt at it.
You can pop off. Is that a save, or is that roll to hit?
It's a roll to hit.
Pop off.
Oh. That was 10.
Well, I hate to tell you, but that hits.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have very low ACs, almost like this is a preliminary basic test.
Wow.
So true, King.
Okay,
Play mini golf.
1d10, where is my d10? That is a d8, that is a d10, there it is. Oh, 9!
Yeah. Hell yeah! All right. Tell us what this looks like. What does your magic look like? What is it? What's the vibes?
Okay, see a little burst of fire, and then around the fire is like this swirling. Because like fire's like, it's like red and orange. It's like this ball of fire, and it's got like gold and black like swirling around it, and it just goes pew, right at this little robot.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah.
The
And
flames.
it leaves trails of like black smoky and then like gold sparkles.
Hell yeah! It impacts the sphere surface, and it almost seems to suck in the fire. And you did so good, Queen. Pop off.
Thank you.
Is that your whole turn?
I believe so. I'm just. Can I do? Yeah, everything else I have is just no use to this. So yeah, well done.
Fair. All right. Next up is Prophet.
Let's go.
Okay, I would like to. Can I pick up one of the like? Hold on, I'm reading my fucking. Can I pick up like a stick or a staff, just like a blunt weapon?
Yeah.
Nice. I just want to swing. I just want to swing at this thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I roll it like I'm rolling on my short sword?
Yeah, there's like blunt short swords too, so if you want to just grab one of those, you can do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So it's +6 to hit. So that is, oh my god, maths, 14 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. How funny would it
Nice.
be if I said the 10 hit, but the 14 didn't?
Yeah, no, I just. So it's 1d6 plus 4 damage, but I also want to. Me as Laura, I'm applying Thunderous Smite, but Prophet is like not doing that intentionally because I think it's funny.
Alright. So, if I'm remembering correctly, you don't have to this time because this is your first time playing a paladin. But just for future reference, I'm pretty sure smites have to be applied before, right?
No, you can apply it whenever you feel like.
Yeah.
After,
It's
if
whenever
you hit,
it's
right?
whenever your little heart desires, which is why it's stupid.
When I played a paladin, I thought all the smites, I don't mean smite in general, like the specific smites, like wrathful or thunderous.
It says the first time you hit,
I'm not positive.
the first time you hit with the melee weapon.
Is it
You
after
can-
casting the
okay.
spell? Does it say anything like that?
After making the hit, you can say it when you're
After making the
Go
hit.
for it.
Whenever
Cool,
your
so
little heart
I'm-
desires.
I'm gonna roll the- I'm gonna roll the short sword damage first, right?
It's
So
happening
1d6
either way.
1d6 plus 4, so it's that's 9 with the short sword, and then the smite is gonna add 2d6. 1 sec. 9 plus 7 is 16.
Awesome!
Yum.
After a quick read through of the spell, yes, it is after casting Thunder Smite. Because it's the first time you hit with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration. But that's just something to keep in mind for next time. No stress about it.
Yes.
Yes. But tell us, what does this look like?
Cool. He like picks up this sword and just like full body swings it. He's like using all his might to just like slash it, and like when it connects with the orb, it just like this explosion of thunder at like the point where it connects. Which definitely startles him a lot. It's not a creature, so it's not going to get knocked prone. It's like a loud bang of thunder, and like he looks very startled.
This would technically count as a creature because it's a construct. So yes, it comes slamming to the ground and kind of rolls there for a few minutes.
Yes.
Yes. Hell yeah. We love to say it. Next up, Lacuna.
All right, so I don't have to kill it. Is it the point to just like deal with it? So can I just like grab it?
Yeah, if you're wanting to grab it, you're gonna do a parkour moment because it is flying around.
Or I can just press the teleportation button,
You
where
sure-
I teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that I can see.
You sure can. You're gonna have to do a grapple check to grab it.
Oh boy, I don't have anything resembling strength, so never mind actually. I changed my mind. I'm a wizard, I don't have things like
Yeah.
anything besides intelligence.
Dude.
And I guess wisdom.
Yeah, to be clear, the way this works is you can either deal up to a certain threshold of damage, or like you mentioned, if you cast 2 spells on it, and that doesn't have to be specifically damage.
Oh, fair. I guess. Well, it is a creature, I suppose.
It
so
is, yes.
I'm gonna Mind Sliver, my cantrip I've got.
Yeah.
So it has to make an intelligence save.
Hell yeah, this thing is definitely so smart. So smart.
Yeah. What's that?
11.
No, that's not gonna do it. Sorry. I am a wizard.
Wow.
So you take the D6, an easy dice for me to find. So that's 1 psychic damage, and minus a D4 on the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn. So I guess I'll roll that.
Hell yeah.
You lose 4 on the next save.
Damn. Thank you, King.
Of
What does your magic look like?
Probably just like picking whichever symbol on her arm, which would go along with that. Just like pressing that bad boy a little bit and just do the thing. It's probably not that fancy considering it's a psychic type spell. So probably not anything much visually you could see. So.
Hell yeah. Thank you. I love it. Much like they had with Eladier Prophet, your little robot dodgeball also seems to suck in your magic like a delicious little drink.
Thank you.
But Autumn takes a moment to focus. Wow, I forgot to have Autumn's sheet open. Wow, miraculously none of you are looking at Autumn, but Autumn sure does a magic. sure does a magic. Wow, amazing. But Harley kind of takes a moment to watch his thing zooming around back and forth, takes a few steps back, and then makes a running leap up some of the parkour bits, and starts to chase after his little zooming boy. He's doing a run. Yeah. And with that, Benny, it's your turn.
I look to wherever Professor Urgil is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Professor.
Voice comes over the loudspeaker. Yes?
I just thought this was sort of like a magic thing. I'm not really sure if, like, this is, like, quite conducive to what I had in mind.
If you're just wanting to cast magic, you can do that. If you have the capability, of course.
Benny, like, looks at the sky, confused. That's fine. Where's my little ball?
Your little ball is zooming back and forth about 20 feet away from you.
Okay, I'm gonna use my action to dash at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use my charger feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna body slam it. Like I'm gonna fucking basketball, fucking slam dunk, Jordan, Kobe, may he rest in peace, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. That bad boy.
Hell yeah, go for it.
Alright. Dice!
Does it have to make a save or anything
No,
of
I
that
have to
sort?
make an attack roll.
You...
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Buckets! Jordan! I can't see that number. That's a... It's 15 plus numbers.
Hell yeah, that hits.
Cool. So that's 10 points
Fuck
of
yeah.
damage. I don't need to roll it. It's automatic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like tackle it to the ground or anything of that sort, or no?
No, I grab and I throw it at the ground.
Yeah.
Not
Right, you said
tackling
that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm dribbling,
Uh,
traveling.
love that. Love that. Awesome. You hear a faint crack, but you know, maybe you're worried, maybe you're not. But you were told to beat it up, so.
Yeah, I
Salute.
step back from it and I kind of like cringe, like, I'm sorry.
But top of the order, Elodie. Are you back, Queen?
Yep, I was
Oh.
muted. I'm here munching what's it.
You're so valid.
They're so good.
What would you
Okay,
like?
so I would like to hex this ball of sphere.
Hell yeah.
So I've placed a curse.
Mm-hmm. Does it have to make a save against you?
No, it's concentration.
Yes, but for in the spell.
No,
description-
it just says I place a curse on it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's how Hex works.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So
Like Warlock's Hex, but not as good.
Yeah.
yeah, for a hex, and then I'm going to firebolt it again.
Go for it.
So that's a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, it's 17 plus 6.
Yeah.
And then a D10 and then a D6 for the hex.
Hell yeah.
That's a 12.
All right.
I rolled a 0. A 0 is a 10, isn't it?
On a D10,
10?
yes it is.
Okay, yeah. So I rolled a 10 plus 2, yeah, 12.
Fuck yeah. What does this hex and firebolt combination look like?
The firebolt's the same as last time. The hex, because it's more was it necrotic damage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the hex is actually necrotic damage, so it's just like this kind of pure black, not like because the actual magic's more like a grey blacky smoke. This is more just like a pitch black kind of hover around it.
Fuck yeah. Alrighty. As your magic impacts it for a second time, you watch it suck in the magic once again, and then it seems to give like a little confirming loud beep, and then just drop like a stone and slam into the floor.
Can I try and catch it?
Yeah, sure. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, that's plus 2. 14?
Hey, yeah, you managed to catch it. It's not as heavy as you were expecting it to be. It's like just barely heavier than a basketball.
Okay. She shouts out, "Autumn, I beat you."
You hear Autumn start cussing behind you.
That's so
I
funny.
did it.
Alright. Next up, Prophet, what would you like to do?
I kind of want to choose the funny option, which would be Vicious Mockery.
Go for it.
So he's like, he was so startled by the thunder. He's so mad. He's like, he's looking at this floor and he's yelling, "What the fucking hell did you just do?" And that's the Vicious Mockery roll.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's only 1d4 damage, but it's a funny. Oh, it's a Wisdom saving throw.
Yes. Let me.
And my save DC is 14.
Well, it got a 10, so.
Yes. Let me roll. 4.
Hell yeah! Alright. As you begin shouting, what does it look like when your magic affects this construct?
I feel like with each like syllable of the words that I'm saying, it like does a little like shudder.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably that because I don't think vicious mockery is like crazy powerful, but it like a noticeable shudder at each syllable.
Hell yeah! And with with the last shudder, you hear it give another affirmative beat, indicating it's absorbed enough magic that you have passed the quote-unquote test. And it also immediately, well, it doesn't drop like a stone because it was already on the ground. So you see it turn off and the humming stop. And with that, Lacuna, it is your turn.
Yeah, same song and dance as last time. I got it. I do even better this time because I get the -4, so I'm gonna have it roll another intelligence save, and then it gets -4 to whatever it rolls.
All right. Intelligence. Wow, its intelligence is sure gonna be something. Oh. So you said -4, -d4.
Yeah, -4. I rolled it last time.
Well, in that case, it's gonna be -3 because.
Oh yeah, let's go.
That one.
That's 5 psychic damage too.
All right. What does this look like? Your magic this moment.
Same thing as last time. She doesn't really feel the need to like go insane on these balls, so you know, just like I assume it's more in the sense of like just like messing with the sensors and stuff on it, just using their magic to like do that.
Hell yeah.
So probably just kind of like disorients it enough that it just like keels over.
Fuck yeah. You hear it give an affirmative beep, and it drops to the ground.
Cool.
It is dead, defeated. And with that, it's Autumn's turn. And some of you watch it as Autumn runs to one of the floating weapons racks, grabs like literally a random item, just kind of gives it a heft, you know, a little toss, and goes, "Yeah, this'll do." And he casts Hail of Thorns on his little thingy, and then just chucks this random stick at it as this random stick transforms into a blasting of bramble thorns that just goes ping, 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 ping off the side of the metal. And it seems to take that as enough magic, as it also beeps and falls to the ground. And he turns to yell at you, Elodie. "See, I wasn't that far behind you. Shut up." And some of you can see it, but most of you can't, since he's gone fucking running up the obstacles. But you hear a loud shout, and see Harley holding tightly to one of these little boys, the ball boys, and it's slowly hovering down, lowering him to the ground as he's holding onto it.
He's like spinning.
Do you need help? Are you okay?
No, I won,
Okay.
I think.
Great.
He's like, you know, he's like holding it tightly to his chest as it just kind of hovers around and he's spinning slowly.
Like a slow spinning disco ball.
Yeah.
God.
This awkward nerd hanging off of it. And with that, Benny, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
How much damage do you have to do this thing?
Do it and find out.
Okay, I'm gonna rage.
Wow, real?
Yeah, I'm gonna rage.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
What does that look like, King? Tell us about your rage.
Dude, I don't know what Benny doesn't know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like.
The outburst of magic, you don't know what that looks like?
No.
And why do you do this to me?
Because I don't know.
It's your character. I want you to have control over it.
Listen, I didn't think about it.
Okay, it can just be a flash
So-
of light, bro.
No. I think the floor cracks. That's what it looks like.
Alright. As you work yourself into an anger.
Yeah, I get real fucking mad at this robot, and I'm kind of pressed. It's like a controlled rage. It's, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be mad. Yeah, he starts punching drywall. Straight boy. Anyways, I'm gonna roll on my table now.
Yeah, go for it.
Roll a 1.
Oh! What does that do, King? Tell us.
So, is anybody within 30 feet of fuck?
Are we?
No,
Is anybody within 30 feet of me?
I'll say you guys, like, spread out for the test. I'll have mercy. Nobody is within 30 feet other than the robot.
8. It needs to make a con save.
Okay. Constitution 13.
13?
Mhm.
That doesn't succeed.
Damn.
Crazy.
Imagine.
My DC's 14.
Yo.
Cool. So it's gonna take 8 points of necrotic damage, and I'm also gonna punch it again.
Go for it.
Cool. Ah, my dice! It's an 18. Wait,
Yeah, that hits.
a 16, but yeah.
Still hits.
And cool. And then that does 7 points of bludgeoning damage because I'm raging.
All right. It seems like with your initial yell of rage, just you entering the rage had a magical effect. And then the necrotic energy hit it was a magical effect. And then as you're like swinging down to punch it, you hear it beep and turn off, but you're already in motion, my dude. And you hear a crunch as it crushes.
It's my too much gene. I'm sorry.
And there's some silence for a moment. And then, wow, a YouTube ad. Thanks. Thanks. Please let me skip. It's talking about something. There we go. Built-in comedy. I love it. But with that, you hear Professor Yurgiel come over the fucking loudspeaker again, going, "Awesome, awesome! That was great. That was so good, guys. That's sure perfect. Here, tell you guys what. Come on out the door, and head right up the staircase to the left."
I wait.
Can we bring our booze?
No,
I wait
no, you
6
can leave them there.
seconds.
Let's take us a souvenir.
You wait 6 seconds to
I wait
cool
6
down.
seconds for the rage to end.
You do hear like little boot steps as Autumn kind of like quietly approaches you. Waits until your breathing calms down a bit, and then says, "Hey, y'all, you good? You need anything?" Since I assume, having known Autumn for a while, Autumn has seen you get worked up in various ways before.
Yeah. I just wanted to impress, I guess.
Well, it was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright,
Alright.
let's go.
Yeah.
It takes Harley like another couple seconds to float all the way down, but then he awkwardly sets his little boy on the ground dusts his hands off and jogs over to catch up with you guys as you're heading out.
Okay.
Are you guys heading upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pog. I'll remember my notes. There we go. You guys head on up this small staircase, and it seems to lead to the control room that Yurgiel is in. He seems to be looking at a couple of the different computer screens, which have numbers and graphs and some complicated terminology, which some of you understand to various degrees. But it looks essentially like it was just monitoring your body levels and magic levels, and like the input that the little bots were receiving, stuff like that, science things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he seems very excited about something, and is looking at a particular readout that he seems to print out and picks up, and he's like fiddling with something in his pocket, and looks up as you guys enter. Hey, awesome. So I gave Professor Fontink a call, so just so you know, I have his permission about this as well, but I wanted to discuss it with you guys. Yeah. All right. So there is something else that we're looking at in this research study. Not technically a secret, but it's a bit more complicated. So we weren't planning to really get into it with people. But let's just say that you guys fall into that particular research we're looking at doing very, very perfectly, according to our readings. So we would like to request if we make you guys our alpha group. If
Oh
that is
shit!
all right.
Let's start barking.
No. I'm turning you all into Chads.
Whoa.
Oh no.
No
Oh,
more
no.
soy allowed.
Oh god.
It would just mean that you're our priority group when we're asking if people are available for a test. That sort of thing. There's extra pay, all sorts of things. Of course, you're not required to say yes, but it would be very exciting for us.
Do you
we
care to
get.
expand on what you're researching in particular?
I will in a moment. What were you gonna ask, Benny? Or is it essentially
Oh,
the same thing?
no, I was just gonna confirm the more pay and say, yeah, that's fine.
Yes. If you're the alpha group, it becomes 80 gold per test.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Set me up.
And everyone immediately, yeah, sure, yeah. Wow, imagine. But he kind of turns to his screen and clicks a few things, and one of those diagrams that had been on the projector comes up again. A diagram of apparently what's called the weave. So, all right. We have a theory that the reason the weave, or at least part of why the weave is spiking so much, is there's some sort of synergy that's taking place in these ebbs and flows, and it's resulting in various people who are, we're not sure how, but are somehow connected magically, and it empowers them when they're connected in this way. And they don't seem to be necessarily permanent connections, and sometimes they're there even between complete strangers. But we've just found it to mean that for some reason the weave connects these people and boosts their, not just their magic, but also their physical prowess, all sorts of things. And we're not really sure exactly why. We're trying to figure out more why. But we have a theory that has something to do with why the weave is spiking so much. So that's part of what we were hoping. We were hoping we'd stumble across, maybe two or three people who were connected in such a way through the study. And I have readouts here that say at least two of you are connected, if not more, to someone else in this group, which is astonishing and frankly very, very shocking, but exciting, very exciting. And so with your permission, I have an object that I designed that is supposed to track these connected webs. And as he's saying this, you hear like Professor Fontink enter behind you guys, also looking very excited, and picking up on the fact that he's just asked your guys' permission to check this. Does anyone dissent, or does everyone just kind of shrug?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
good.
That's just good. Let's fuck it up. I mean, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Professor Fontink kind of approaches him, and Norelia is at his side as well, as they kind of glance out the readout he's holding, and then watch as he pulls the object out of his pocket, which at first glance looks like a normal ass, like a black pen, just like a little click pen. But when he clicks it, instead of like a pen tip popping out, it kind of reverberates through the room, and there's a faint glow of magic, and then you guys see a faint glowing line of light, as delicate as like spider silk, and there's one connecting very, very faintly Professor Fontink and Professor Yurgiel. It's not a laser pointer. He like holds it up and it seems to make stuff in the room illuminate. And then there's a separate web seemingly connecting Professor Fontink and his daughter. And then Yurgiel kind of steps up and steps a little closer to you guys to seemingly bring you into the radius. And there is again a faint shimmering web that starts to show up. First one connecting Elodie and Lacuna, and then one connecting Benny and Prophet, and then one connecting Prophet and Elodie, and they start to intertwine and connect together until there's just this spider web of lines between you guys. Not 4-way, 6-way. Because Autumn and Harley are here. 6 square. So it's between all of these connections, it is very much like full-on spider web between all of you. Of glowing light.
Wait, are we all connected to one another, or all connected to like one person who's connected to another one,
No,
etc.?
you're all connected to each other.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. It had
Yeah, what
started
the
with
fuck?
like initial one-person connections, and then more and more started to light up.
Are those more relevant, if you know what I mean?
Say again?
Are those like initial connections relevant?
No,
More so?
it just seemed to be slowly like absorbing
Right.
the light.
I see.
Professor Yurgiel and Professor Fontink both look absolutely ecstatic. And Yurgiel kind of stumbles over himself very quickly. This is amazing. It doesn't mean, of course, you are all connected forever, or even remotely. You're the only ones connected to. This is something we've just started researching. But you all have matching energies that somehow boost each other, but also provide stability. And this is, I would love to work with all of you to learn more about this, and I would encourage you to explore it as well.
Sorry. What exactly? Little strings of, what does that mean?
All we know is that for some reason the weave connects you all, and causes you each to both empower each other and stabilize. We don't know why it does this. That's why we're researching this. This is a brand new discovery that hasn't even been released to public knowledge yet. This is part of the reason for our whole study.
Huh. All right.
Elodie's swatting all of the gold webs.
But Professor Yurgel seems to understand that this is a bit freaky and overwhelming at the moment, and kind of reins in his own excitement. Sorry. There's, of course, if you're now no longer interested in participating because of the test, or because you don't want to interact with this sort of thing, that is completely understandable. We would be ecstatic if you did continue to participate, but we completely understand if you are no longer interested. If you want, I can leave you all some time to discuss it or think about it. I do have to check in with some of the other groups. I have alerts from some of my other researchers. I can't talk. From some of my other researchers. Before I go, are there any questions I can answer? Anything of that sort? Anything at all?
Nah.
I mean, this is definitely a lot more theoretical stuff, so kind of out of the scope of anything that I've really studied. But I mean, you know, I appreciate the informed consent on that much, at least. Obviously, not something I think we're probably going to necessarily get, but that's not really our job, is it? So it's fine. Yeah, I'm good for it.
All right. Thank you.
Actually, this might not be the right time, but I had something to discuss with you. More of a work-related thing. I just realized you're probably going to be busy later, so I might as well bring it up now.
Yes. Of course. What is it?
Great. Can I pull him aside again? This is
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Again, it's not a huge room, but you're able to step aside and kind of lower your voices a bit.
Yeah.
Of course, the party is capable of listening in if they so wish, but that's their own calls.
Yeah.
My apologies for the tangent.
No, it's okay.
I've just been meaning to ask about that kid who went missing recently, Marcel.
Yes.
I was just trying to help out, see what happened with that, and I heard that you might know where his residences are. So I was just gonna ask if you knew that.
Yeah. Marshall was certainly a good student. What happened is, of course, very regrettable, and I will put the name into info. I spelled his name slightly wrong.
Let me see.
There we go.
Oh shit!
You good?
I realized I wasn't muted. I'm just burning stuff in my room. Don't mind me.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay.
Pop off. Marshall was certainly a good student. Interesting. He had originally been one of the people I would have hoped to invite to the study, as he was very skilled. Had a bout of magic come upon him out of nowhere, and wanted to learn more about it. Not to make this awkward, but I did take a glance at your readings. I don't know details, but let's just say his burst of magic came from where I suspect your burst of magic might have as well, or at least a similar source. It's your burst of magic seems to have come from something divine in nature. Have you been delving into pantheology arts recently?
I'm gonna like take a look around, see if Norelli's like anywhere near, and then I'm just gonna be like turn back to him. Not. No, that's not really my thing.
Interesting. Well, I wish I could be more help in that respect, if you're looking to find out more about that. But I'm not a pantheologist, and there's only one on campus. But that's you were asking about Marshall. To come back to that, he had stumbled across magic unexpectedly, like you, and was looking for help. So I helped him when I could, and then one day he just never came to class. And for a long time I figured it was just, a student being overwhelmed between their classes, not having time to come physically to class. And I didn't require attendance to my classes as long as you were still doing the work, turning things in, And I mentioned it to a colleague one time that I hadn't seen him in a while, and she hadn't either. And so she made a report. And apparently his room was found in a state of disarray, and he has been concluded to be missing.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
I wish I knew more. I wish I knew what happened, but I don't know where he went or what happened.
Yeah, I was asking because I wanted to maybe go clean up, leave some flowers, something like that. I thought you might know where he lived, so I can go help out with that.
Of course. As far as I know, his room is still considered a crime scene. But
Right, of course.
there isn't anyone actively watching it right now. Don't ask me to elaborate how I know that, but if this is something you're wanting to look into, to investigate, find him, don't let yourself get caught and tied up in it. He's in the Eastern Dorm Building, room 216.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Of course. Do you want me to... Are you going to want to look into your source of magic? I could point you in the same direction I pointed Marshall in a few months ago when he was having the same problem.
Be appreciated.
What did you say?
Yes, please.
Alright. He pulls out like a little piece of paper and starts to write down on the back of it. You can see him writing down like an office number. So she's not a professor, but she's a specialist that sometimes gives talks and lectures about divine history and theory. But her name is Yeher Dul Reed. And I will write that down for you. I spelled it wrong in my writing down. I'd love to be able to spell my own characters' names. But often, because it's a Sylvan name, she often just goes by Era.
Nice.
She's a skilled pantheologist. Maybe she'll be able to help you out more with answers.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Sorry to interrupt. Let's get back to this more exciting stuff.
No worries. As you guys return to the group, Autumn is making like passing conversation. And it's like, so if we're gonna be, hanging out on the regular a couple times a week, do we want to go grab coffee, get to know each other?
Don't think Betty drinks coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, but that's fine. I drink other things.
I'm sure we can find something Benny will drink.
Yeah, like, I don't know, fucking
Water?
water? Yeah.
I just figure, it'll be less awkward next time if we at least somewhat know each other.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm not opposed.
Awesome.
I'll grab a drink.
Cool.
Yeah, fine by me.
Yeah. Do you guys head out to go get coffee? Because you've essentially been turned loose. Professor Fontink informs you guys that you'll be paid as you're leaving.
Oh my god, cash. Cold hard cash.
Yeah, cold hard cash.
Oh my god. We don't have to claim that in our taxes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Really?
Love that.
How much are we adding?
We'll talk later about what total you might have already had. Also because here, I'm gonna put it this way. The money you guys get from your jobs and whatnot, we're not going to touch that, because I'm gonna say that goes right into your groceries, paying your rents, that sort of thing.
That's fair.
So we're not gonna get into how much you earn from that and how many hours you work and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Unless.
Oh, that's too
no,
much. No spreadsheets
no. The
for
money,
that.
Spreadsheets.
the money you earn from the research study, or even other things you guys might do, is money you can add to your character sheets and use on other things, whatever you like.
Yeah, Prophet would be out earning all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can, as you all leave, you can all mark down 80 gold.
Ooh, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
Bag
Just
acquired.
for, like, semantics, I guess, I'll offer to pay for everyone's, like, coffee from my, like, can we
Wage
include that in,
wage.
like, my like, work wage? I'll just offer to pay for everyone's coffee.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Poke.
Where are we getting like? Are we going to like a coffee place?
I mean, if Betty doesn't drink coffee, I doubt they're going to a coffee-only place.
Oh, it's like a cafe.
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 Yeah.
How do I add money? How do I add money on this crap?
Oh, you go into equipment,
Inventory?
and then I think there's a section that says gold. Let me
Oh,
see.
delicious. Yeah, I found it.
Money.
Yes.
I found it. Yum. Okay.
Yes. Gold.
80, right?
Yes. Beep.
Nice.
But you guys head on off. You find a nice cafe where there's a big enough table for all of you to sit down in like a back area. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you all take a seat. We don't have to RP out small talk if you guys don't want to. We can just say that happens.
Yes.
That's fair.
Please, I'm so bad at small talk. I've got a script at work. This is different.
Fair. You guys chat about this and that. You guys can hang out for as long as you like. Wow, crazy! None of you have scheduling things going on right now. For whatever reason.
I have no job.
Locked us
Oh,
out.
no.
You do have a job, you just can't go there right
Thank
now.
you.
You're locked in. You're locked in the
When-
cafe.
But
You
wow.
can't leave.
This is
Can't leave.
this is the point that I was referring to, where bros, it's up to you guys what you want to do, how you want to handle things. I don't have anything else written for you guys.
I've got something.
Other than like some what ifs. Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna say I sat next to Prophet. I'm there, drinking my water. Hey, Professor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering about why you were asking after that kid.
Marcello, did you know him?
Did I?
Roll a history check with advantage.
Okay. That's pretty good, actually. Shit. Holy shit. It's a dirty 20.
Awesome. When you had first heard the name, you had been like, that sounds vaguely familiar. I'm not really sure. And then thinking about it as you were walking over to the shop, you realized that not only had you briefly met the guy in one of your classes, it was the class you have with Professor Yergio. He had been in it briefly. He was kind of a bit of a loudmouth dude, not rude, just kind of short. You feel like you and him would have shaked hands on a few things.
Right. Sure.
He seemed okay enough, but then just one day, like a half a month ago, stopped coming to class out of nowhere. Which, you know, happens. It's college. Sometimes people drop out unexpectedly, or sometimes they just get overwhelmed and don't come to class. And it's not like you were personally close to the guy. But you do remember hearing some rumors around campus since then, mainly from Joy, because they stay a bit more tuned in to like the social life aspect. That a student had gone missing, and there was like a search out. So putting two and two together, you would guess that that's Marshall, knowing what you know now.
Right. I mean, we had a class together with Professor Uriel, and a while ago he just kind of stopped showing up to class. I didn't think much of it, but is he like dead?
Oh, you never want to assume that when someone's missing. So hopefully, it's going to be the best outcome. But I don't really know.
Right. Alright, yeah, I was just wondering. Curious, I guess. Sorry to bother you about something like that.
No, it's alright. I suppose it's just always concerning when something like that happens, because I think about all the kids I see on a daily basis. You never want something like that to happen, so wanna be respectful about it. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, I get you. Cool. So, Uh. Hmm. Hmm.
What do I do with this, Oliver?
It's up to you.
That's a good question.
And
You know,
sorry.
I know you can.
I was gonna ask another question that it's not really my business, but I guess I want to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
You got recent magic professor?
It certainly seems that way. I'm a tiefling, you know. It's comes with the whole package. I fucking guess.
Sure, yeah. I don't know about that, but well, I mean, maybe I don't really know a lot about tieflings or
Looking at
other
the two other
kinds
quote-unquote
of
tieflings there.
Well, I guess maybe I will know that now. Is y'all's magic inherent to you? You got like magic just flying out of your ears and shit? I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I do mean to watch. I drink water.
You
Is this
know,
why you
I'm
don't drink
addressing the
coffee?
table,
oh sure,
the tiefling table.
the tiefling table.
Since
Penny, is this why you don't drink coffee?
I don't think so. I've honestly, I just don't like the taste too much.
I have realized that I once again forgot to do it. So as you guys are doing this, turning this back to the group, addressing what Benny thinks are three tieflings to ask this, does everyone want to go ahead and describe their characters? Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Sure,
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Just because I know it's always a hassle to volunteer. Yeah, Benny's like a sort of average height young man. He's got short black hair, or not short, like short black hair in the sense that like it goes down to around his shoulders, but he has it tied up. He has like a little bit of root showing that show like brown kind of. He has an undercut that's dyed very, very dark red, and a collection of piercings on his face. He wears these like tinted, sort of rose colored glasses on his face. And when he talks, he has just kind of the slight hint of very sharp canines. He's a fairly broad boy.
Yeah.
18th strength having motherfucker.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's his hands are like kind of fucked up. They're like stained with like some kind of like dark substance. His fingernails are kind of like, it's like you can't quite get underneath them, and he's got calluses and blisters all over them. And that's Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He.
Oh yeah, he's got big fucking eyebrows.
Damn.
I just always
He's-
assume your characters have that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's my character.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Chloe, would you like to describe your character?
Wait, sorry.
Huh?
He's also got like 3-day-old smudged eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, right now Ellie's probably up, you know, like up on the chair. But actually, wait, what kind of table are we sitting on? Are we sitting like a proper like table,
I
or
was
like
picturing
you know,
that.
like a low coffee table? Either way, she's sitting like a fucking gremlin, just like legs up on the seat, like curled up with like coffee mug in the hands.
Hell yeah.
And she has like grayish skin. Grayish skin, like she's wearing like big old trench coat that's probably like over the back of the chair at the moment, and like a baggy tank top that she stole from Contradiction, like tucked into her jeans, and she's got like a little thigh harness, like a little dagger on it, and heelys. Although you guys haven't seen the heelys yet, but she is wearing them, but you don't know that they have wheels on. She's got like a bridge piercing, and then most of her other piercings are like all on her ears. She's got like with this really dark, rich brown hair, all kind of tied up, like plaited, but it looks a bit fluffy because she wasn't able to redo it from yesterday. But then through that, she's got like the peak of like 2 little horns poking out that are pretty much the same color as her hair, so you can see them, but they're not also at the same time not crazy noticeable. She's got like yellowish, like goldish eyes, and lots of eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. Laura, would you like to describe your character?
I would. I'll send a little pic for you as well. So he is a tiefling, and with fully black skin, like charcoal. But his eyes are just plain white. We love contrast. His hair is also plain white. Like, it seems like it would be very long, but it's tied back in a tight little ponytail or bun, very like sleek. He has these like big like bull horns, but they're both broken off before the where you might imagine the curve would be. So they're pretty short, but they're thick. He wears these like big round glasses, and he has on like a button-up shirt and like robes, and he carries a briefcase with him. So like I guess the robes make he occupies quite a lot of space because of the robes. They're just kind of he's definitely a presence in the room. And he has like little
just because of the robes.
really, he has like little freckles and scars, etc. Maybe some stubble on some days. But yes, it's a very black and white aesthetic.
Yeah.
That is he.
Hell yeah. Alright. Ned Gem, would you like to describe your character?
Sure. Yeah. So she's on the shorter side. Has dark hair, usually like half pulled back, like just like the bangs type deal. Just like out of their face. Usually wearing a lot of dark clothing. Just mostly just like dark eyeliner type deal. But like some preppy goth type thing going on where she's wearing like a black blazer and like black like everything else basically, and usually has her sleeves rolled up and a lot of tattoos on their forearms.
Yes.
And a tail, because I'm not afraid to make a tiefling with a tail.
Yeah!
For aesthetic purposes.
I love Prophet and his taillessness.
Yeah.
He lost it in the
Can't
war.
relate, yeah.
Yes, you did. Wow, so sad.
But yeah, as Benny kind of looks at the two other tieflings and says, "So do you guys just have inherent magic that just appears?" What do you guys reply, if anything?
A little, most of the time. Kind of depends a lot on like parentage, I guess, because like there's all the stuff with like the devils and whatever. But most of mine's just from studying, so.
Right. You don't have to answer the question if you don't want to, Elodie. That's It's kind of
no,
presumptuous, actually, of me.
it's fine. No, I've got magic. It's just, it's there. It's doing its thing. But everyone reacts to magic differently, so.
Right. Great, cool, yeah.
What about you?
Huh?
Where does your magic stem from?
Well, I guess that place that Professor Yergil was talking about. The weave or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's most people though. Like everyone
Yeah.
kind of.
So I guess that's the answer.
Yeah, fair enough.
Are you alright there, Benny? You made a few cracks in the ground back there.
Oh, yeah. That's just... I don't really know how this whole thing works, to be honest. I was sort of half hoping with this study that I might I come to understand it a bit better, but, yeah, I don't really understand my magic, to be honest.
I mean, it's only the first day in. You can't really lose faith just yet.
Oh, faith is still plenty, man, but, it's like if you were blindfolded and somebody put a bunch of dartboards in front of you and then they spun you around real quick and they said, all right, well, Godspeed, and told you to throw the dart and it would land on a specific dartboard and then you'd get a random prize.
I kind of understand what you're saying.
My
Yeah, I get
magic's
that.
like a Beyblade shooting lasers. And
I
sort of,
understand
I
less.
have one of those.
yeah, you just sort of get what you get with it. You don't get to decide. It's like a roulette. Is that me? Yeah. Can't y'all get no. Never mind.
Yeah,
No,
no, I get what you're
Prophet
talking
is
about.
Prophet's like yes, me too. Like his eyes are like, wait, someone else knows what I can.
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason why studying it is more of a big deal. In my circles, at least, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not really one for studying magic, but I think it's interesting. Definitely.
No, you're good. It's just more in terms of like, like reducing taking the blindfold off. If we're gonna like go back to your metaphor.
Right. I really prefer being able to take the blindfold off if I'm being honest.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's just in terms of practice for you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I say, what else is interesting?
What?
Who's the dead kid you were talking about earlier? Or possible
Bruh.
dead kids?
Bruh.
Okay.
Did you
I'm
guys
just
like?
asking.
Did you know
Yeah.
him, Elodie?
No, you wouldn't have.
No. I've only... No.
Okay,
He's-
can I just go ahead?
I was just gonna say he's a kid that went missing. That's really all there is to it.
Well, so I just do something crazy for the fucking sake of it. Okay, Prophet like slams his hand down on the table, like not like
Whoa.
crazily, just kind of like attention here, people.
Like fork to glass.
Yeah, like classy wedding.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I bought you guys coffee. That means I've earned your trust. He's like kidding, but that's what he says. Essentially, this fucking kid,
He swore.
Can he do that? Like, isn't he tenured?
Legally?
Yeah.
Is he gonna get fired?
Oh my god, he's a
Oh my
PE teacher.
Okay. This student, had some like fucking bloody vision, or something, and like I saw him like dead on the floor or whatever, And then I came into school and it's like he's missing and stuff magical. And then Yu-Gi-Oh is talking about how we channel magic from the same place, and I'm basically losing my shit a little bit. That's what that's about.
Shit.
So you had a vision about this kid that's gone missing, about him being dead, and then you're connected to him through the readouts, is what you're saying, right?
Before we go any further, I'm gonna need pinky promises that we don't speak about this to Norelia.
No, who's that?
I don't know who that is. But
Oh,
sure, I
the
guess.
assistant from earlier, the cool one.
Yeah, I was sort of under the assumption that we weren't going to talk about this to anyone if you were just sort of telling us.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is this something we should be talking about in a shop?
No,
Like,
it's alright.
look around.
You guys are in like a back room. You're fine.
Private room. Karaoke.
So this is all to say that I don't know where my magic comes from. I'm also in the room with dartboards and the blindfold, etc. But I feel like we're gonna learn a lot together as a
Sure,
group.
yeah, we're just a couple of Beyblade boys, I guess.
What the fuck is a Beyblade?
Do you actually not know what a Beyblade is, Laura?
I do.
Okay. Well, a Beyblade, it's basically like this like plastic toy that you can get, and you get this little like cord that you put inside it, and then you rip it like a lawnmower, if you're familiar with yard maintenance.
Right, I think I've heard of a lawnmower.
Yeah, and then they spin around in this like dome thing, and they bump against each other, and whichever one either stops spinning first or gets flung out of the ring, you lose.
And you can make some shoot lasers.
Yeah, you can make some shoot lasers, I guess.
So like a top is what you're saying.
Yeah, but violent, I guess.
Okay. All right.
Violent spinning tops.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't say that makes more sense, but it's certainly another way of putting it.
They're spinning, aren't they?
Certainly.
Yeah, all right. So you had a vision of this kid. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I was gonna like go see if he had some like fucking cult shrine in his room or something. Because I don't really know where to begin with that. If you guys wanted to join me or whatever.
Holy shit.
Wow, is this our first field trip?
Wait, shit. Do I gotta get a permission slip or some shit?
Listen, when we're not on the university grounds, you don't have to act like I'm a teacher or nothing like that.
Does that mean we can Does that mean we
You can what?
call you by your first name?
Do you know it?
Yes. Do I? Do Oliver, would I?
Do we?
I mean, it was said when it was like being listed
right, yeah.
as which group. So
Wait, yeah.
You know each other's full names.
Right.
Oh, I forget. I guess you can if you really feel like you have to.
I feel
What's your
that's
last
weird. Yeah.
Akuma.
I should have known that, because you're a fucking professor.
Wait, I'll put it in chat.
Call you Mr. Demon.
So, wow, are you just referring to people based on their race? Is that what we're doing now?
Akuma means demon in Japanese.
He's a tiefling.
Benny, is that a racially charged?
Yeah, is that a microaggression? You're microaggressing me in this shop?
Listen. In the spirit of the French bashing that we totally don't take part in, I'm deciding that fantasy French is just infernal.
No.
No.
So you really are just named demon in the inherent tiefling language.
That is funny. It's a
It's
good bit.
I
Yeah,
know. I can't know French. This is terrible.
I guess, I guess we can just call you like, Mr. I call you Mr. Prophet.
Yeah. Did you get your? Do you have your doctorate?
Yeah, do you have your doctor? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
All right.
shit!
So
Wait,
Doctor
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 Akuma.
Akuma. Doctor
Mhm.
Akuma.
He like takes a long sip from his decaf cappuccino, and he's like, "Yeah, Oliver, that does not work."
It does work.
I'm already doing it.
I'm gonna do it too. You can't stop me.
Anyway, I feel like we're talking about me a lot. My point was we should like do
Well,
that
you're
or
kind of the one
something.
that brought up this whole conversation, so.
Actually, Benny boy up if you actually think about it.
Well, you're the one that wants to go.
Well, Elodie's the one who
check
voiced it to the
out
whole
a crime
table.
scene.
That's actually true.
You weren't talking quietly, so
I
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
trying to.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just like took a step off to the side and were like talking about this stuff. So.
Hold on,
I
Harley's
think
with
that's
us, right?
fine.
Or Harvey?
Harley.
What is
Harley
Harley?
is here, yes.
Cool. I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna look at him and say, "What? Weigh in."
Me?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I do have to go soon, because I am expected home. But I'm not gonna tell anyone what you guys are up to. Like, if a kid is missing, one, he should be found, and two, especially if he's somehow connected to you through magic, I totally get why you want to find out more. I can't come, but I'm not gonna tell anyone.
Yeah, I mean, look at this kid in the eyes. He look like a narc to you.
I would never tell anyone anything.
Great, cool.
Insight check.
Great.
Yeah, go for
Oh my
it.
god.
Oh, I forgot. I'm also gonna do that. My wisdom's really bad.
Imagine
Oh,
if his
heck.
wisdom was a
That's
paladin.
terrible.
That's insane to me.
That's a 6.
I got a 15.
Jeez. Anyone else rolling or just that?
Sure, dude. Why not?
No, I'd trust him.
6.
It's, to the 6 and the 8, yeah, these tell the truth. To the 15, he is telling the truth. You get the feeling there's something about him like some irony that he is making for himself by saying, yeah, I never tell anyone anything. But he is at least telling the truth in the matter that he is not going to tell anyone this secret.
Nice.
Yes.
That's me.
But with that, he does start gathering up his stuff.
Oh wait a sec.
Yeah.
Harley. Your mom. Does her name start with E?
Yeah. Why?
Okay. I think you're my cousin, by the way.
What
Just as
the
a side
fuck?
there.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I got some like letter from an E sharp.
Oh my god. Do you have
And-
it on you?
Yeah. I mean, I took a picture of it. Like, well, I mean, it
Can
just like
see
clicked. It just clicked for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Go
pull out their phone. Just be like, "Yep, there you go."
Yeah, shows the
Is that, like-
fancy little card and stuff. The picture
Yeah.
of it.
Someone dropped it by my work, so
He kind of like winces a bit. Yeah, that's her paper. Oh.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably from my mom.
okay. No, it just clicked.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you in this context too. I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we're. I mean, full disclosure, I'm adopted, so we're probably not biologically
whatever.
related in that sense. But
I mean,
good
that's fine.
to meet you. I was under the impression that it was literally just my mom and that she had no family, so...
I didn't know I had an aunt, so yeah. But apparently
Lovely.
so.
Well,
Wow, this is a beautiful moment, guys.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna tell her I've met you, because I don't know how she's gonna react.
I feel like that's like as normal as it gets as far as however the situation is gonna go. So yeah, you do you, I guess. I won't mention it because she wanted me to meet her for dinner or something like tomorrow. So
Have fun with that. I do have to go because I am expected home.
okay.
But I'm sure you'll realize some more when you meet her. Maybe
Great.
maybe before tomorrow at some point consider looking into the company Sharpevia. Bye. And
okay.
he grabs his bag and hurries out the door, presumably to his quote-unquote job with his mom. Yeah.
Fair enough. Get it, King, I suppose.
Alright, Scooby-Doo and gang.
The mystery gang, let's go.
Autumn is the dog.
Oh
Right,
my god.
So, is there anything else that anybody would like to share in terms of stunning revelations that are strange to have in a coffee shop at 1 o'clock?
Well, he said his last name earlier. That's the only reason it clicked for me.
Right.
So. My bad, I guess.
No. That's funny as hell.
It kind of is. I wasn't expecting it, but you know.
Autumn speaks
So
up.
what do you want to do with
Go
go ahead.
Autumn was just gonna say, no revelations, but maybe we could trade numbers and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's... Oh, wait, I haven't... Yeah. Fuck.
Do any of you have Harley's number?
Harley?
I have Harley's number.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Then
Did you call him a simp?
What? No! He gave it to me. Technically.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys
He
have like
called
classes
me.
together?
What?
Do you guys have like classes together or something?
Yeah, we have a class together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, you guys do a little phone shuffle around.
Can I actually text Harley to ask him if it's chill if I give them the number?
Yeah, sure. You get a text back like pretty much right away saying yes.
Okay, tight. Let's go.
Just so you guys know, I can't text. I can only call. So if you need me, text Autumn or call me.
Sure.
If this is a whole group chat situation,
An F queen.
Autumn.
You know you can like
Fair enough.
crack that, right?
Hmm?
You can like. Never mind. Not important.
Crack the what?
Like.
Yeah, he's right. Like your phone, like you can get it to do other things.
No, she has a Bokia.
Oh,
Oh.
Al-
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
there's
yeah. I can only call.
An
so
F.
maybe we can get you like an iPod and we can all get Discord. Okay, yeah. Phone shuffle.
truly.
Make sure that there's a contact photo of me for everybody.
Of course. Are they all different?
No, it's kind of different angles.
Fair.
Of just
fair.
like it's like a low angle looking down at the phone.
What is the name of the group chat?
I don't think we have a group chat because Elodie can't be in it.
Oh yeah. Damn.
It's okay. Energy won't be in it.
Wait,
No.
this is
You'll have
this
to
is how I
catch it.
save myself. Hold on, how do I like?
No.
This is how I save myself in everyone's phone.
Gosh. Uh,
You just put your whole title in there, huh?
All in the first name line as well.
I love him. Alright. Do you guys want to head to the dorm today, or you don't have to? Of course.
Sure, why not?
How are the British doing?
Yes. How are you guys doing time-wise?
I'm fine. I woke up at 2 p.m. today.
Pop
Jeez.
off.
Yeah.
Chloe,
Chloe, do you have work?
I don't care that I have.
The queen.
Bro, we can do it next session.
Yeah,
Do you have work?
Yeah.
Mm,
Girl.
It's not a big
I do
deal.
have work.
Do have work, and then we can finish here, and you go sleep.
But
Or
yeah,
here.
I need to be up in 5 hours.
Yeah, never mind. Then I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Go to sleep.
Oh
Go to
no,
sleep.
no.
No.
So we can save. So we can
No,
save. So we can
no. We're ending here.
I am curious what you were gonna say though.
I was gonna say that the dorm room thing would be fairly quick. At least the dorm room itself.
I would be making a lot of rolls, so I don't want to keep Chloe up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
no. We'll do it next. I'm ending it here.
No.
I kiss your forehead. What?
GG lads.
Hold on. What's it stuck in my teeth? I should have kept my mouth shut. But
No. We are aware of what
Sleep.
time it is there. Kiss your
this is
forehead.
terrible.
Thank you so much, guys. It was a lot of fun.
That was
Yeah.
very good.
It was good.
The awkwardness was very funny.
It was great.
It's fun because now we're the Scooby Gang.
Literally.
Mystery.
Mystery Inc., baby.
I love it. I love it. Who is Fred and who is Velma, and who is who? I need to know.
I'll make a poll.
I feel like we're our own archetypes.
Here's a little fun fact for you guys. Harley has a driver, so I vote Harley is the mystery van because can drive you guys around.
Oh God.
Has a
Just pick a guy to be
driver.
the car.
Autumn is Scooby Doo.
I'm Daphne. Benny's Daphne.
All right, who's Fred, Velma, and Shaggy then?
I'll take. Actually, I don't really know.
Prophet's Velma.
Ella, do you think Shaggy? I think.
Hell yeah.
Who's
Okay.
Would Luna assign Fred?
Yes, Fred. I'm assigned Fred.
Diagnosed Fred.
Your intelligence, your investigation is through the roof.
I am writing this down.
I have written it down.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Harley's a fucking car. L.
Truly. That's his only
That's
function.
rough.
That's the only reason you guys are gonna be friends. Definitely.
I can literally drive.
Yeah, but do you have a car? No.
Benny's
bitch.
type.
No, I'm
People
gonna
with
get
cars.
one now.
That's your name. What the
That is so good.
Oh, Jesus.
Harry Van Hollen.
Okay.
Thank you so
Good
much
night.
for playing, guys. Mwah.